We'll call our meeting to order. Overview of Zoom meeting operations and procedures, rules for participation. Please mute your microphones and be recognized by the chair if you have a question or you'd like to make a comment. You're also welcome to use the chat if you're on Zoom. We'll try to keep track of that as best we can. First off, we have public forum. Is anyone here this evening for public forum? Okay, not hearing any. We'll move on. Department head roundtable. Let's see, who do we have on?
Richard's got his hand up. I'm not sure if that's.
Richard, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I noticed today that the street sweeping, sidewalk sweeping began. And I'd like to ask the select board or whomever makes arrangements for this process to look into a way to do it so that it doesn't raise the amount of dust it raises. It's unbelievable how much is in the air when these guys are going down the sidewalk. I notice they're not even wearing a mask, but the car's covered with dirt now after this, and anybody who's outside, we were going to be outside today, and we came in because of the danger to our lungs. My wife has something called reactive airway disease, and we would have thrown her if we had been outside. Down. I know you can't probably do anything about it this year, but it's a real health hazard, and I wonder if there's a way to research a better way to do it.
Richard, I know we had this problem in the past, and I saw the same thing and was going to ask Eric tonight. We did have a provider that had a spray bar on their broom, didn't we, prior to this, when they did the sidewalks?
That was the road.
That was the road, I think.
No.
That was the road, not the sidewalks?
Yeah, because it went from the village doing them, and then when Pete took over, he got Greg to do them, and then Greg's been doing them ever since, and he's never had a spray bar on.
He didn't put a water tank on one of those and wet it?
If he did, it didn't work. There's just, you can't carry enough water on the tank, on that size tractor to amount to a distance. You'd have to refill it every, 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. And for the amount of dust, I realize it's dusty, but the dust only lasts for half an hour at the most, and then it's gone. And they'll be done sweeping by tomorrow at noon. Everything in the village will be done.
Eric, is that just the sidewalks and the roads will be done separately?
The roads will be done about the middle of May is when he's supposed to be coming in to do the roads. And he does have water on the truck for the roads. So he will be spraying, if it gets too dusty or it gets dusty, he will be spraying with that because he fills up over at the town barn. Fills his trucks up over there.
Thank you for bringing that up, Richard.
I had actually also received other complaints from other residents, so, or other comments, I should say.
And are they, Eric, can I ask a follow-up question? Are they done or are they still working? Because I've noticed piles of dirt at the edges of sidewalks. I assume they're coming back.
Yeah, they'll be done tomorrow at noon.
Okay, great.
Around noon tomorrow.
Okay, super, thank you.
So yeah, whatever piles are left out now, they'll come back in the morning to pick them up, and then there's a few more places they got to sweep, but Greg says they should be done by around noontime tomorrow.
Okay, super, thank you.
Great. Now we'll go to department head roundtable. No other hands, right? I didn't miss anybody else? Okay. So let's see. Brett, why don't we start with you?
Sorry,
wait.
Wait a minute, you got Callie.
Oh, sorry, there is Callie. Hi, Callie.
I can't find the raise the hand. Hi, sorry, I just got onto the Zoom. Are you still just in the public comment?
Yes, we can be. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hi. So yeah, I know my Aunt Laura's passed away in early March, and I was thinking it might be sweet, if possible, to see about planting a tree on the green in her memory. So I was just talking with John Webston about that. And I know there's definitely a process to kind of get to work through. So I can kind of connect with him some more and maybe the Bristol Rec Department and the Select Board, but just wanted to see if there's anything I should kind of be working on between now and your next meeting, just to, in the interest of time for that.
Well, Kelly, as I mentioned in my email to you, that that's a proposal with John Swepston's recommendation, like a proposal that you've come to together, that he supports, and that the rec department also can support, because the rec department has a lot of responsibility for maintaining the park. So a proposal with those two on board that's presented to the select board. And I also shared with you the select board's policy on new development in the park. And since the park has already lost at least one tree, that planting a new tree may be compatible with that policy.
Okay. Okay.
I
Perfect.
do believe we have a rule that we can only plant a new tree if one is taken out. I think we did that years ago because the park was starting to get crowded. So if we got one that's gone, it would be a good opportunity.
Totally. And thank you. Yeah, I'll work on that, and maybe if we sort some of that out, maybe I'll see you at the next meeting. So thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. All right. Any more public comment? Did I miss anybody else? Okay, I think we're good. Thanks, Kelly. We will move on now to department head roundtable. And Brett, why don't we start with you? You're at the end of the table.
I need to come up there.
You can if you want to, or you can speak from there. You've got a good voice.
If I move, maybe it'll get you. There you go.
Good evening, everybody. I'll keep this very brief as we have other business tonight. I guess the one update I wanted to share with the select board and those listening, that you've all heard a lot of discussion and frustration along the last couple of years regarding our new pumper and when it may arrive. I am pleased to report that on April 16th, 3 of the persons on the working group that designed that vehicle will be heading out to Michigan, excuse me.
Michigan.
There we go, Wisconsin, Michigan, to do what they call the final inspection. That is part of the contract. The vendor pays for their airfare and their hotel rooms to get out there and back. So we're just getting excited about that, and hopefully in May, the town will see their new pumper. Thank you.
That's great.
Open house, Chief.
Great news.
Oh, the open house, sure. Yeah, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, on May 13th, as part of a statewide recruitment effort for both volunteer and career fire departments. This state initiative, they're asking all fire departments to open up their doors on Saturday, May 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's a media campaign that's underway. I understand it's out there now. I personally haven't seen it yet. But I do know WCAX was at the Bristol Fire Station a couple weeks ago interviewing one of our firefighters. That was a part of that advertisement. And it can be anything your fire department wants it to be. It can be simple as opening your doors and just being there should anyone walk in, or you can have displays or what word am I looking for?
Demonstration.
Thank you. Demonstrations. And we're going to kind of do a hybrid. We hope to have some activities going on there, and hopefully we will see some persons walk through our door that day, and maybe somebody will hear something or see something they like, and we'll find Bristol's next volunteer firefighter.
Nice.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Thanks. Good luck with that. Meredith, I saw you come in, but now you've disappeared. There you are. What do you got going on, Meredith?
Pretty busy in the sense of the Holly Hall just constantly being rented out. We'll hear some noise tonight because we've got an improv group that's been meeting every Monday. Our summer programs are packed. I only have the teen camp that's available. I only have 5 slots for that. So yeah, busy. It's warm weather out, so working in the parks, cleaning up the parks. We've ordered the portalet for Sycamore. It'll be there on May 1st, so that's nice. That's kind of like the start of the summer, having a portalet at Sycamore.
Harbingers for
Signs of summer.
Yes. Everything's going pretty good. My new rec coordinator, Zach, is amazing. I'm so happy. We've had a great week. He's already jumped on a couple of projects and taken the reins on that. So he'll be attending the conservation meeting. He's also going to go to the gymnastics program and see how that is, because that's one of our most popular programs. So yeah, life is good at the rec.
Great, thank you. Eric?
What?
You're fine.
Me?
Yes, you.
Well, as you already heard, we've started our sidewalk sweeping. So we're starting our, basically spring stuff. We're starting to get the equipment pressure washed and oiled, put away. Some of it, not all of it yet. I don't quite dare to. And then we started ditching today up on Upper Meehan Road. Starting to grade the roads to get them to dry out more. We only got 2 bad spots, and they're both in the upper notch right now. The rest of the roads are drying out really good. Yeah, so that's it, just spring stuff.
Great.
Yeah, Chris.
And Chris?
So zoning's starting to pick back up pretty rapidly. We've got a handful of applications, including I have a 5-lot subdivision coming up in a couple weeks for a hearing, and there's a 10 or 11 unit subdivision in the hopper as well. So, and plus the Thomas subdivision that got abandoned years ago, which is reinvigorated recently, and Eric and Valerie have met with them in regards to roads and driveways and all that kind of good stuff recently. So it's getting busy. Spring. Everyone loves to build.
Great. Great. I think that's everybody. I didn't miss anyone, did I?
You get the chief, police chief.
Is he here?
He's not here.
He's not here?
Oh, he's not on Zoom either. He usually.
No.
If I can jump in, Chris just spoke with his zoning administrator hat on, but also this past week, last week, he began his new duties as assistant clerk and assistant treasurer.
Right.
Yes, I did.
Do you want to report anything out there,
And he lived to tell about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was great. I got to start to learn things like payroll and land records, and it's tax season, so learning a lot of register time.
Good.
Well, the help, the extra hands and thoughts are very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Great. Well, thanks. All right. Moving on to our regular business. First up is our fire department about your, I'm going to get this wrong, Connex box prop.
You
Did
got
I say that
it.
right?
Right
Training
on.
proposal. So Brett, back to you.
So again, good evening, everybody. Brett LaRose, Chief Bristol Fire Department. I'm going to be brief because this isn't my presentation tonight, but I just wanted to quickly introduce 4 persons that make up a working group at the fire department that was specifically put together for the initiative of looking into a Connex box training facility. So we have, I'll start right here with our working group leader, Caleb Rockwood, firefighter Anthony Robidoux, firefighter James Goodyear, and firefighter driver operator Chris Pearley. So with that being said, I want to pass it off to Caleb for just a couple of words before he does his thing.
So we were trying to come up with a more effective and efficient way to do our trainings, being that a lot of the times they're.
Can't see you.
Where's your chair? Not you. You're good.
A lot of the times you're either late at the end of the night or they're early in the morning on the weekend. Takes a lot of setup time, a lot of logistics and people. So we formed this group to come up with some better ways to be more efficient and effective with trainings. We decided on trying to come up with some good ideas with some Connex containers, and that would allow everything to kind of be.
Can we, I think for the public on the TV, I think we ought to explain what a Connex box is.
Shipping container.
Storage container.
Shipping container.
Yeah.
You know.
Connex box, shipping container.
Okay.
The plan is to take 2.5, so 2 40-footers and a 20-footer, and make a a building that will be universal for most or all of our trainings that we can incorporate into one spot behind the fire station, which will take a lot less setup time and you will have more actual hands-on training time.
If I may, I'd just like to add a couple additional comments to that. So in addition to, being more efficient, more realistic training, the days of the fire department getting an acquired structure, and when I say an acquired structure, meaning a residential home that was, given to the fire department to utilize for training, for live fire training purposes, that is a tremendous amount of work. A lot of planning, logistics involved, permitting with the state of Vermont in order to put on such a training. And we don't see those types of opportunities coming up much anymore. And there's nothing like as close as you can make it to real live fire training is being in an actual structure of some site. So you'll hear a lot more, I think, from Chris this evening about this Conex boxes, and what we will be able to do with those structures. So, thank you.
Sure. And if you could just give me co-host and I can share my screen.
Valerie, can you make Chris a co-host? Yeah.
Done.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Valerie, Ian.
Come on. Wait, sorry, I apologize. Checking my screen's moving. So this is an example of the actual structure we would like to build. It's been hit on here quite a bit by the other two. It gives us an amazing opportunity to build something that we can trade in that is more realistic. Some of the features we're talking about doing, things like roof venting, we have a chimney front, of course, these are all things that we do as firefighters on a regular basis. We brainstorm these through. Things like, right now at our station, we don't have a place where we can actually throw a ladder against the exterior of a building. So it's little things like that we'd love to be able to do. And we're gonna be able to add live smoke to this. We won't have, it will not be live fire inside of the building just because of everything from insurance to NFPA standards and all that good stuff. But we'll show you in a moment how we plan on generating smoke that will create a realistic environment. The interior will also be able to be changed on a regular basis. So like search and rescue, you can't memorize the structure. Some of the advantages we've got is, as was touched on before, is this structure will be on site. One of the biggest concerns with building this elsewhere would be we build it, we forget it. We use it because it's new and it's fun. In a year, we stop using it. It's just not, if it's not in your backyard, you don't see it as often. Our other option to do this type of training is to go to the Vermont Fire Academy, which is very pricey. And we believe we can do a similar training here on our own land. It's self-contained. It's just that. It's what we roll in, set it up, and go, and we can train better trainings. When this all started, Caleb started with a comment: "Is trainings aren't fun." I know that sounds silly, but if you're not enticing firefighters to show up and train, they're not going to do it. Is often we do it, but it's not the urge to go. We can do more trainings. We can do real life trainings. It's going to force some communication that we aren't able to do. Our recruitment that's coming up, this is another type of thing where we could actually use this to recruit, whether it's cadets or actual firefighters if they're interested. This is something where they can see hands-on. And we put revenue stream long term. It's not even high on the priority. I want to be very clear with this. But potentially in the future, being able to offer trainings and or leasing it out to things like the state, the county fire school, and it's offered every 3 years. The picture you see here, what's very important on this picture, there's three things. One is the little white box in the lower left or center left-hand corner near the bottom. That's the rough location we'd like to place it. The black dotted lines that are on the southern and western side of it, those are the required zoning setbacks. That's my world, and I was making sure I included those. And the green is an overlay roughly where the largest potential police station building and parking lots would be required. Just to show that it will fit, it doesn't impede on it, I don't think it's gonna interfere with what the long-term goals potentially of that site are. I think we can work these all together and work together on those. But I thought it was very important to see those. It's a little south of where it should be, but I felt it was better to err on the side of caution of being a little too far south than being a little underdone. Some of the challenges that we've run into, that we saw that we have to resolve are money. We were fortunate when we first presented this to NH Munsell, which is our fundraising portion of our fire department. They were willing to pony up $15,000 towards this project. The entire department feels that this is a very important piece for us, and we were willing to put our dollars that we've earned over the years towards this training facility. There's permitting, everything from local zoning to Act 250. And we will work through those processes. I've been in contact with the state from the Act 250 side. I've reviewed it from a permitting side. It's probably gonna have to go in front of the DRB at some point for conditional use. Location, as we said, we'd love to do it at our fire station. If we can't, we could find another spot. Appearance and maintenance, those are huge for us. Nothing over at our station is left shabby, nor do we ever want it to look shabby. This is big for us as a department, for me personally. The town approval, that's what we're here for right now. We are asking for the board to allow us to proceed with this project. Without that, we have to come up with Plan B, which if we have to, we will. This is very important to us. This is not going to end here tonight. And last is NFPA, the National Fire Standards, in regards to training and what we can do and how we handle safety and smoke and things like that. General cost, we believe it's going to cost us about $20,000 to build this thing. Like I said, the NH Munsell group has agreed to spend up to $15,000 towards this. This is a rough breakout of what we came up with estimated costing. The rest, we hope we can come up with out of either training dollars or other dollars, and we'll cross those bridges as we finalize a more defined budget. Whoops, I clicked off there. I hate when I do that. So this is another picture of it here. At the end of the day, I do not know how to turn this on. Somehow it's doing.
No cussing, Chris. We'll have it documented.
Wow.
So we're just gonna stop that altogether. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to, we're here to ask your permission to proceed with this project on town property. Without it, we really can't move forward. The other piece I've got here is.
And before you go off that screen.
Do you want a picture of it? Of the box
Yeah,
itself?
go back to the picture.
Actually, that's what I actually want to bring up next. Just do this, let me share this. And it's that. So here's a actual 3D rendering that I built of what we would like to be able to do with this.
So is that closed, this, where you have it open on this side, that's all closed in?
Yeah.
You have a door in and out,
Yeah,
you're just showing us. I was like, boy, that's gonna be really hard to have a smoke room.
No, there's cutaways, and you'll see if I rotate this, it's similar on the other side of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Similar thing. So the panels you can see inside, Caleb came up with a great idea that we're gonna be able to create movable panels to create all sorts of different environments. You see a chimney there, so we can actually practice chimney fires and how to use the tools like the chimney scrubber we have, 2 different textures of roofing, be able to practice that. The oil tank looking thing you see on the back side here is just that. That is how we're gonna generate smoke. Because one of the concerns is, are we gonna be generating more smoke than you normally would? It's basically a big wood stove. And instead of letting the smoke and heat billow into the sky, we're just gonna put it into these 3 boxes and create a training environment that is more realistic for the firefighters.
So when you vent the roof, what do you do? Then have to replace the cardboard?
Absolutely, yep.
The wood?
Yep, and that, we came up with an estimated annual budget between consumables, maintenance, additional props to build of roughly $2,000 to $3,000 a year. that we will work through to figure out how to pull that off. But that's sort of what we think the cost to be able to provide some very high quality training to our firefighters.
So and then the price you have of the boxes, you said $12,000. Does that include getting them here? Will they deliver them?
Yep, that was part of the price that we came up with.
And then how do you put them all together? How they get
Starts just with the crane. And Caleb is our fabricator extraordinaire. And
so you're gonna have to cut them to make them fit. Like they come in an actual box. So like the one that's going on the top, you're gonna have to cut the bottom off to get
part
it
of
all.
it, a portion of it, because we don't want to take it all out, so we don't ruin
Yep.
all the structural integrity.
Yep.
Assuming you probably cut them after they're set.
Yes.
Okay.
Potentially, I mean, we keep banging around with this. The other option we have is Caleb does have a shop where we've been able to do some of this, where we have the proper tools. That's the cool part about these boxes. That's the other thing too, is if 10 years from now, the fire station property needs to grow yet again, and these aren't viable in their location, they're shipping containers. We hook onto them with a crane, we put them on a truck, and we move them to a new location or another spot on the property. So we didn't want to build a physical structure that can never be moved if need be. So it was thinking in the future as well.
So will you be putting them on, like, not necessarily a pad, but like?
It'll be a gravel base.
Gravel base.
The national standard for training props that's the National Fire Protection Association. 1402 is the standard, and it spells out what we are required to do in order to make this structure compliant with that standard, which is all geared around safety. Just note the railings on the roofs. So railings are required. I mean, you view it as a commercial construction site. However, the standard does allow for those railings to be removed in locations where it would impede your ability to perform a particular task, like throwing a ladder to a particular location, things of that nature. Chris spoke of the aesthetics. We're well aware and we acknowledge all the great activity that's happening over on Firehouse Drive today. You have the 20 Firehouse apartment units that are moving right along. They broke ground in the first 24 or 25,000 square foot manufacturing space, which this would be closer to than it would be to the fire station. So we want to ensure all parties are well aware. We want to be as transparent as possible. We want it to look nice. So yes, there will be regular maintenance required. Occasionally you'll need a paint job, etc. It will be secure. One of those national standards that this structure must be secure, as you do not want to allow anyone who should not be in it to be in it. We certainly don't want to put a chain link fence up around it. That's the last thing we want to do. So yeah, we'd like it just to kind of blend into the site over there. And I tell you, a structure like this will put your fire department, again, at the forefront of training and abilities. And it's just a super exciting opportunity. These Conex box training props, Google it. You will find all kinds of fire department training props. I mean, this is a national trend. This is what people do. And we have an amazing opportunity here. Chris noted the Vermont Fire Academy. They have, metal buildings where they do their live fire training. But if we, the Bristol Fire Department, wanted to go spend a Saturday down at the Vermont Fire Academy, it would cost us a couple of $1,000s just to go down there for a day.
It's $2,000 just.
And you're not only that,
For the space.
just for the
and then you have
space.
to hire the instructors.
and you're taking your people and your equipment out of service at the same time. So just all things, we looked at, all things we would just like you to take into consideration. Perhaps this would be a good time to open it up for questions, other questions?
Now, my two concerns were, where is it located? Because when I first looked at the map, I didn't see the little white box. And my second was just to make sure it was secure, and when you're done, it's cleaned up and it doesn't look, which I don't think I have to worry about given what you guys have over there.
And that's the one nice part, when you say secure, that's the other part with the shipping container or Conex box, is when we're done, the doors closed, they padlock shut. And to get in it, you gotta bring cutting torches to get through steel. So our goal is to make this open it, use it, close it, walk away from it, and feel safe and secure that we did that.
How tall are they?
They're about 8 feet tall, between 8 and 8.5, depending on which boxes we get. So total, with the rails would be about 20 feet to the top of the
No, I was just
upper rails.
thinking on the end, can somebody climb up there and, you know, because somebody's gonna try something
Well,
stupid.
and again, that rail, I only have it, and
Because it would only let you do that.
yeah, I ran into some design issues where I couldn't get it right. But those railings will actually be around the entire
Yeah,
perimeter of the
okay.
top. So it adds another
Yep,
30.
4 feet, whatever it is.
32 or 36 inches of whatever it needs to be.
My only concern after being presented this a month ago is like, say on a Saturday morning, you guys, we cut the roof to do an opening and let the smoke come out, how long will that be before it's put back and repaired? You know, do it in the first Saturday in May, will it be late November before so-called the roof is put somewhat back and presentable to the neighborhood, I guess?
Absolutely not.
It would have to be immediate.
It's immediate.
Okay, that was
To make it weathertight.
one of my concerns is,
Yep.
you know, after
That's
we're
all
all
part of
gone, we're all gone, the thing's still over there is, well, those things.
No, that was when we discussed this, when we sat down, that was part of our maintenance budget, is just that when I say consumables, we're talking plywood, roofing materials, so that when we're done, when the fire department's done training with this, when we walk away, it should look the same as it did when we walked in. And that would be the expectation for anyone who uses the structure.
And just to speak a little bit more about those costs, as Chris noted, the NH Munsell Hose Hook and Ladder Company are nonprofit 501c3. Generally, I think I can say with confidence, we have about 100% support for this project and the use of those funds. And Chris has kind of nicely danced around where the other monies are coming from. But if the board's not aware, the fire department was the recipient of a very generous donation this past year. Those monies were deposited into the fire department capital equipment fund, which you control. So the additional funding that's required for the initial expense to include any of the site work, to get it up to snuff, ready to roll, ready to be usable, my plan would be to come before you folks and ask you to utilize some of those funds to finish out any remaining expenses associated with making this training facility operational.
Thanks. Ian, I see your hands raised.
Yeah, thank you. Looks excellent. Great presentation, very clear, and sort of excellent rendering, Chris. A couple questions I had, and actually most of them were answered either by the committee or by Brett. My main things I was looking at was just sort of making it sure it blended into the location and wasn't sort of a garish color. I know that obviously containers come in certain colors, but hopefully you'll have the opportunity to paint it and have it blend in. I know that's not required by zoning, except I guess for permitting in terms of putting a notice on, but it would be great to be able to contact Evernorth and Stony Hill Properties, Kevin Harper, just to keep them in check and not just an email to them, but actually have them and talk to them about it and make sure they see renderings and things like that, just so they're aware of what's happening, and also the Nelson's property as well. And I guess my only other question would be about the noise level. At the moment, the fire department has sort of worked at that facility without any other close neighbors in terms of when you've done trainings. This obviously brings a lot more sort of intense training in, and you're going to have 20 apartments right next door to you. I was just curious about the noise levels with those kind of trainings and how often those trainings might happen.
Well, we train regularly, on average twice per month. But I can tell you right now, using this facility for what the intended purposes, what we just described, little to no noise. What creates a lot of noise is when you have a pumper screaming over there that's discharging water. So I think when the time comes when we have tenants living in those firehouse apartments, all we can do, whatever the notification method is to make those persons aware that the fire department trains on these nights, until 9 o'clock at night, and there may be some bright lights and some noise. And we plan on being very good neighbors. But those are just things we're all gonna have to work through. This town built this fire station and gave us this great piece of property to allow us to do so many wonderful things over there to make ourselves better. And I hope to be able to continue to do that. And hoping our neighbors, whether it be the apartment owners or the Stony Hill property people, Mr. Harper and whomever, will work with us. So I guess with that being said, I would look to the town administrator to set up a meeting with those persons, and we'll work with these guys and we can do another little presentation, if that's what you're asking us to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's just only one myself sort of suggesting that, and we've talked about that before, just sort of letting people know, just so they're aware, as opposed to them having to access a select board meeting. I think just because it's a new thing that's going to be built there, and like you said, Brett, there's a lot going on with various construction projects. Be nice just to have everyone on the same page.
Absolutely. No, we're all about being transparent. So we would be happy in a, not a select board setting, to have a conversation with Mr. Harper and whomever else. If the select board wants to ask Valerie to facilitate that, that would be wonderful.
In the last week or so, I've reached out to Kevin Harper to try to have this conversation prior to this meeting, and our schedules we couldn't mesh up. So we are, as Brett said, we want to be good neighbors with this. We don't want to shock anyone.
I think the only other thing I was gonna say is putting up a sign as to what it is, if it gets to that point, so that people that are going by will know, what you guys are doing.
It's a
what it
training
means for you.
facility, yeah.
I like signs.
Chris, can you, without going back, if you put a ladder on this side, if this side was towards the Nelsons and it's meeting the side yard setback of 10 feet, will the ladder be over on the neighbors when you throw up a ladder up?
No,
We want to make sure not just the building meets the setbacks,
So
but
the
all of
square-
our area that we're
So
going
the
to train.
square that you see when we did the overview map was the outside boundaries of where
The
all the
building or-
gravel was gonna go.
Roughly with
So the building would be inside that.
Inside the
So,
white.
yes.
I mean, that's,
And
Chris said
even if
about
it
20 feet, so the ladder's going to go up there at 24. 4
Chris,
feet
could you
above.
go back to
Right
that
here.
slide for us?
It's right here.
I just want to make sure that
Yeah, and the big piece with this is, let me
she's got it right.
Right, he's got it right here.
just share it here again.
Yeah, that white box they're referring to takes into not only the Conex box.
And it's not just the Conex
The gravel pad and any working space where a ladder base
Right.
would sit.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure, the ladder base and all that.
So this,
Is on.
this box right here encompasses all that, so.
Yeah, and the
you're-
piece with it
you're
too
right.
is that there's about 5 to 10 feet outside of that are still, that's why it's not right up against the
It's a-
zoning boundaries. I apologize on the share, I'm trying to get there. I'm doing.
So the black line is not the property line.
No,
Here's
the
the
property
setback.
line is here.
It's the setback.
That's the setback.
Yeah, the property line is the fine white line you see.
Right, I see that now. Yep.
So the black dashed line is actually the setback. And if we had to move it slightly to the east or slightly to the
So the
north,
building has to be within the setback, but we're not throwing, you threw a ladder up there, you would
You
not
have
be over
plenty
onto the
of space.
neighbors.
Right.
Okay, that's all my concern.
absolutely, we want to make sure that this is contained on our properties and not infringing on our.
Where it's located or where they're showing it there, if it is over on the neighbors, you're gonna be falling down the hill.
That's true. It's a really steep side to the west.
That's true.
Is there going to be any lighting for it, or will it just have no electricity to there?
No, we'll illuminate it with our scene lighting just as we would any other training. So things we have available on our vehicles today. No
Okay, so
electricity.
Okay, so when it's not being used, it's just in darkness in the evening.
Yes.
Okay, super.
And as far as that paint scheme, if I get my way, it will match the fire station.
You would like that.
I like that.
Is there, so when you use it, does the exterior, I assume that gets damaged and then will be repainted, maybe smoke damage, things like that? Or is it mainly interior?
The extra, what the hope is, at a minimum annually, for there to be a review and repaint if needed. I added in my annual budget about a $500 line item just for paint and materials annually to make sure that it stays aesthetically appealing.
Right, excellent.
And again, I know, we're hearing additional costs, nothing I've had a conversation with the select board or town administrator about, something we'll talk about a year from now when it's budget season again. But, the dollars we're talking about, I never like to minimize taxpayer dollars, but the expenses we're talking about are minimal when you think about the investment that we're making in our firefighters to make them better and provide them more realistic training opportunities, which today is just very difficult to do. So I just thought it'd be worth throwing that out there.
Right, and if you're not going to the fire academy, like you said, to use their premises, you're saving money there as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, having prepared trainings, it's very hard to make something that's realistic when you don't have an actual building. You know, pretend there's a fire over there, or pretend there's smoke coming out of that. It's way different than going into a smoke environment and not being able to see and what you're actually gonna encounter if you show up at a structure fire.
Not put a black bag over your head.
Yeah, exactly.
The old days, put a black bag over your head.
Is that what happened to you?
It was left down a little too tight.
Little too longer. Great. Any other questions? I had a number, but you did a great job in your presentation and answering them all, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
So what do you guys need from us specifically now? Or
A motion
Val,
to
tell
move
us
forward.
what they specifically need.
Yeah.
Approval for us to
Move forward.
that you are comfortable with us building a structure on town property.
Provided it meets the permitting process.
The permitting's gonna be our biggest hurdle, and if it meets that, and if we run into road bumps or if there's changes, we'll be here.
We're not looking to.
The zoning administrator will be fired.
We wanna follow all the rules of the town, we wanna, please all the neighbors, so whatever it is we need to do, we just need your blessing this evening to allow us to continue moving forward, because if we do not have that, we all recognize that, you know, this project can stop right now, and we would accept that.
So if we do give permission this evening, what's your timeline?
We would love to have this completed and functional this time next year. We'd love to have it for the fall. The realistic part is this could be a one-year project between permitting, hearings, actual build, preparation, and being able to roll it out so that it's done correctly and not incomplete when we first roll it out.
I make a motion to approve the fire department to move forward on this project.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, can we all, those in favor say aye, please?
Aye.
I think you've got your permission.
Well, we thank you very much for your time this evening, and
Thank you,
I'd just
everyone.
like to, again, recognize Chris, James, Anthony, and Caleb for their work these past 4 or 5 months now. It was a lot of work, and again, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
There's a lot more to go.
A lot more to go.
I mean, these things, like when it comes time to actually build this, there's a building permit involved that you all have to sign as well, so you'll be in the loop on the whole process.
Great.
If the fire department can do anything for gravel or whatever, just let me know.
We will, thank you. Thank you very much. You capture that in minutes?
There is over there, but.
Just scrape off about a quarter of an inch.
Quarter inch of topsoil, you'll be ready for gravel.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you again.
Yeah, Adrian, how do you spell your last name?
I spelled your last name, I didn't want to butcher it.
I'm gonna stay right. You did that right, I thought it was.
Brett,
Yes.
we also got inch clear stone over there too, if that works better for us.
Yeah, I think they're looking at setting it on clear stone.
Thanks,
We
Brad.
got that inch tailing, you know, crushing there in the years.
All right.
I got a whole stack of it down there.
All right, so moving on. Item 2, consider proposal for repair of Holly Hall front steps and use of capital building and maintenance reserve funds. Meredith and Tate.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe Meredith is going to have a presentation. Meredith, do you need to be made as a co-host or
She
anything?
doesn't have a computer, so
Yeah,
I guess you're
My
sharing.
computer did not charge. I mean, it's charging upstairs. Is it possible that you could use what I had sent you?
I
Yes,
can do it.
Okay, let Ian do it.
Thank you. Apologize. Technical difficulties.
Should have called Peter and I, we didn't.
Yeah.
Then
we're all set.
All right, so this is just a little presentation that we put together, just kind of highlighting. If you can go to the next page, please.
Sure, hang
So
on.
the next page will explain the safety issues, gaps in the stairs, rotten steps. I've put in 3-inch screws to hold some of the steps together, which is not ideal. And then pretty much just the last time they were built was a while ago. So really the safety issue of it, and then the maintenance issue of it is kind of big, because I practically put a half a gallon of paint into those steps because it's so rotten, it's just soaking it up. And if we keep letting it be this way, then eventually the moisture will rot the, is it stringers? Stringers. So you can head to the next slide. So there's our nice little entryway. One thing I noticed was the risers were painted a while ago. It used to be white and then it became red. I don't know when that happened, but it was 2014 maybe that they turned red. So it would go back to the original white stringers or white risers. Just kind of a note that the cement pad has dropped. Oh, yes, sir.
White risers or white back or all white?
It'll be white with the green steps because you can't have it all the same color because that is a safety issue because people would just, they're brown. I keep saying hunter green because it's just in my head.
Yeah, I think they became red, they tried a deck paint at one point, I think that's what it was, if I'm remembering correctly. It didn't help.
So
It didn't help.
the original is white.
Yeah.
And sorry, it's not gonna be hunter green, it's going to be a hickory color, colors. So
What cement pad are you talking about was dropped, the one in front of the stairs?
yeah, so that whole cement, not the textured wiggly stuff.
Yeah.
So that's dropped almost to 9
Inch and a
inches.
half to 2 inches.
Really?
Yeah.
On the step side or the stamped concrete
It's
side?
just below the riser.
Just below the riser.
Actually, if you look above the grate, oops.
Sorry. Hold on.
Ian's clicking.
No, I'm trying to, there we go.
The concrete above that gray area is now tipped toward the stairs.
So the water.
So all the water
Dropped
goes
an
down
inch and a
there?
half to 2 inches.
And that's dropped in the time that I've been here. So I'll be here 5 years, May 1st. It wasn't like this when I first started. So it's dropped
Yeah.
significantly.
And I've called a slab jacking company. What they do is they drill the concrete and then pump concrete underneath it to lift it back up. This can also be done with polyurethane foam. I haven't heard back from them yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, so this
Can
would be
they,
on.
when the steps are out, can they do that from the backside so we don't have to drill it? I mean, I've seen what you're
Yes.
talking about where they've lifted
Right.
and put the flowable fill in and
Perhaps.
just a question.
Yeah, that's great. So, but what we're asking for today is not to work on that cement pad, but because of what you said, Peter, we'll definitely see if we can enter and get that into there.
Those stairs are very dangerous. Very dangerous right now.
So I used a contract pencil to give you the idea of how big that gap is. Or if you wear heels, you know that your heel is going to go in there, Peter, so.
Who wears heels anymore?
This is Vermont, it's
To give you an idea, that, Meredith and I grabbed onto one of those green boards and picked it up enough to shine a flashlight underneath to see what was going on underneath.
Find the spiders.
They're in there.
We weren't looking for spiders.
I wouldn't have been doing that.
Are the stringers okay? Are the stringers?
What we could see, they looked all right. I think
Those are
they're
pressure
pressure
treated
treated.
stringers?
I think
Those are
so.
pressure treated strings?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can see that there's quite a big gap and that the boards are rounding out, so people can actually like tip with their heel.
Sure.
It'll snap off. All right, next slide, please, Ian. So just to give an idea of what things are, because I didn't know, a couple of these key items. So the risers, the stringers, and then, the stairs themselves is really what we're working on. Okay, next.
Meredith, what about the porch? Does the porch?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, so we did discuss that, and we should at the same time take care of that.
The porch to your office, you mean?
No,
No,
the
porch-
decking into the door.
Right into
Oh,
the
the
door.
decking, yeah.
So 2 years ago, I came in one morning and there was a hump. It buckled out about 5 inches. And so Ted came
It's
along
like
and.
this.
Yeah, so.
Not like Martin's over there in the spring.
Yeah, exactly.
It was that.
Precisely, yes. So something let go and moisture got in there, swelled the boards. They didn't have any place to go, so they did this.
In one day, I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, there were 3 or 4 of them like that. I had to tear up probably half of the deck and cut the boards and put them back down so they'd lay flat.
So we'd like to do stairs and the top deck with this material. So this is Timber Tech. And we looked through it, and the Timber Tech as AZAC, thanks Ted, is the best. It's the lifetime limited warranty, 50 years. We plan to have this Holly Hall forever, honestly. I mean, this is the hub of the town. So we should treat it like it's the hub of the town and put the best that we can have in there, on there.
Is it similar to like a Trex or?
It's a better product than Trex, but it's very similar, yes.
Is there an issue with it being a historic building using that material?
Doubtful. That's the reason that we have what we have, because the last time this was done, it involved money from the state and other sources that wouldn't let us use a material like Trex or AZAC. And that's why we've got what we have. What are you going to use? Well, let's use white oak. So we used white oak.
Right.
And it didn't last forever. You know why? Nothing lasts forever.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we would like to use that that brand, and there is a quote from Arcane Miles. And then the color for this top steps is the hickory, and I think it's on the next slide. Thank you.
Right there.
Sorry, there we go.
It's the bottom, whoops.
Yep, got it.
There you go, it's the bottom one.
The dark hickory, and that'll look great with the white risers, and then the forest green or the hunter green with the red.
You're using
It's only available with the 50-year warranty material.
Are you using the PVC board for your risers?
Yes.
For your bases?
Yes.
Nice.
So with those risers, they're gonna be white risers. Right now, we're still looking at see if they come in white screws. If not, we just drill them in a little further and use the white wood pipes. Plugs.
So the screws that are holding the treads down will have a head that's the same color as the tread.
They don't come with the plugs, because I know the Trex, you throw them down.
That's another step.
Yeah.
So they won't be stainless steel, Ted?
Yes, they will be.
They will be stainless steel colors. Okay.
They will not be stainless steel colored. They'll be stainless steel material with a colored head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colored head, okay.
And the minute you screw them, does the color come off?
Is there a reason why you wouldn't want to use the plug system? That's the one I'm familiar with. It seems the cleanest.
Extra steps. He said,
but it does match better. I mean, it obviously makes it more difficult if you ever wanted to take them off, but yeah, I'd be concerned about the exposed hardware, but I guess we have that's what's there now too. So as long as it matches.
Yeah, so just the side off this deck that's next to my door is this material in the riser form. And it was nailed in, so you can actually see each nail because the rust it's bled a little bit. So we're going to avoid that with this one.
Meredith, did I just hear you say that this material is already being used on the building?
Why, yes, it is. It's being used on my private porch area.
Your veranda.
So Val, do we need to double check in terms of the usability of this work? I know that this is town money versus getting grants from the state, but I'm still think we are beholden to higher powers in terms of it being a historic building, correct?
I did reach out
Good.
recently. I reached out to Preservation Trust of Vermont, who consulted with us last year on this building and the library building, and asked that question, that if we used town resources and used this material, if that would jeopardize the building's standing on the National Register for Historic Preservation. And we don't have a definitive answer on that, but as Meredith just said, the material's already used on the building. The front, I learned earlier today that front porch has gone through at least one other major transformation since the 1990s, where concrete was the material of the primary material of the porch, and that was a disaster apparently for the town. So with town funds, the state or federal restrictions do not apply when town funds are used.
Wonderful.
Okay, I have two questions.
Yeah.
This timber tech, because we have Trex at our house.
Yeah.
And if it's out in the sun, it gets hot as.
Sadly, the sun doesn't really hit the front of the Holly Hall.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why that area is just
Rots.
Does
This
it
is
dry out?
at least the fourth stairway that's been on there. The first stairway, when the building was built, didn't last 5 years.
Mhm.
It had to be torn off and replaced. And this happened again, and then finally, concrete was used. And that was lovely to remove.
Well, my only concern was if there were kids out there and it was hot, you don't want them
Yeah.
sitting on it. And the second one is during the wintertime when it's really cold, it's really slippery.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just something to be aware of.
But you have tracks, right?
We have Trex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And when
that
it gets
stuff
really cold,
should
it
be
gets slippery.
Salt resistant, right?
Could we put some of
Yeah.
those, like, but they're like sandpapery treads that might go on them as well?
Yeah, but like
It
skate
has a
park, like
texture.
skate deck.
It does have a texture, but ours are still slippery, it's still slippery with.
Ours isn't bad, like, we've got it on our back steps and it was battered.
I mean, we've had people slip on those stairs in the winter as they are now.
I'm just saying,
It's-
yeah.
just making you aware.
I come across and then I hit the seam.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Been there.
Shovel through your stomach, yes.
The color you picked up, or the dark hickory,
Yep.
can that'll take a stain? Or are they not?
No,
They
it's
don't
always
have to
stained.
stay.
They're all stained, so they're all stained.
It's the same color all the way through.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes, and that's one of the reasons
impregnated
why
from
we
the factory, okay.
Tracks and other products, similar products, tend to have a skin and then a different color
So-
underneath.
Will this take any kind of, in the future, color over it, or it won't have to?
There won't
Wouldn't have to.
need to.
Even a
You
seal,
shouldn't.
like a Thompson seal that's clear.
No, you don't need to
This
do that.
material-
You don't need to do that.
With that, so you don't need to do
This is
that.
plastic gold.
This is
It's not
recycled.
plastic, but
Vinyl.
It's an engineered
Pause it.
material.
It's man-made.
yeah, it's man-made, it's not.
It's
Not growing in a tree.
made to last forever, never decompose.
The stairs will
Think
stay.
we heard that in
the
the
Holly
eighties,
Hall
and we got
20-year guarantee.
Didn't we hear that about pressure treated, putting it in once and done?
Sure, sure.
So Brett,
In the seventies and eighties.
we know that
So
we know that
go to the next, oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, we know that with the screws for the whiteboard, we're gonna use white screws, hopefully that'll stay white. For your treads, is that gonna be hidden hardware, or are you screwing directly through the top? I know on my deck I did cedar, and I did a hidden screw system. I was just curious, with this kind of material, what kind of, are you just drilling right through?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds like, it sounds to me, I was gonna ask that question, Ian, but it sounds to me like they want them tight and not gap. The hidden screw system requires a gap.
Okay.
So we could, the next page.
Yep.
So that's just, so we're working with RK Miles.
Let's see.
You see some notes in there, stairs and platform, right, pressure treated wood. So what we could see, the pressure treated wood was healthy, but we could only see a certain section. So we won't really know until we pop it up. So we just kind of wanted to have you guys aware of that. And then if you can go to the next slide, it's pretty much what we're asking for. We're gonna be looking at $8,000 to $10,000, and that's because if we need to use pressure treated to replace some old rotting areas. Ted's time. And
Your time is free, or your time is just when you're while you're working here?
On the clock.
So your time is free, so to speak.
So yes, and I'm handy. I have my own, yeah, I'm good.
You have your own hammer?
And
Your
I
own
offered
little
to
work
work at
belt.
the same rate that she's paid.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out.
So I would definitely like it. Yeah, if you pull it apart and you see a lot of the wood underneath rot, and obviously you want to replace as much as you can. I was curious about Meredith had mentioned her private entrance. Does that need any work? And the reason I ask is because that won't match the new nice looking stuff that you're going to put down in the front. Is there a plan to do any replacement of that perhaps in the future so everything would match for the building?
Yeah, so because this is more of a safety issue, we just really are concentrating on the public access to the building. But yes, that private entryway will need, sorry, I can't imagine what's going up there. But yes, so eventually that side will need it.
Dungeons and Dragons.
But what's nice is that we can, that Timber Tech will be around and we'll be able to repair that with this.
Get the same material.
Yeah, but really it's a safety issue in the front public area.
Okay, yeah, this is great.
Meredith, it's my understanding that the side posts, the decorative side posts on both of those entryways are going to need some attention also in the near future. Is that right?
Yes, they are loose, but when we add these new steps, we'll be able to fasten them to it.
I couldn't. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. Could
So
you repeat your answer?
Steps will be able to fasten the
railings
to something secure. Right now, there's nothing to secure.
We really don't know what the problem is yet until it comes apart.
Right.
The posts themselves sound?
Not sure. They don't seem to be, but they may be salvageable. A couple of notes. Part of this Arcade Miles presentation involves the entire deck at the top of the stairs. If we want to put that off for a while, because it turns out that the railings and everything else are worse than we thought, and the stringers are bad and all that, we could put that deck off for a while and use the funds to do the other repairs.
Do what's underneath first. I think that's a great idea.
The other thing is,
but I want to do it all. Do it all.
Yeah, do it all. Like if you're doing it, don't mix and match. Let's get it all done regardless. I mean, if the cost is astronomical, sure, but I think if it adds a few extra thousand, I think complete the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think where
Well,
Ted
we
was going
said
with that.
1,000 to 7,000 additional, right?
Yes.
1,000 to 7,000 addition if you have to wind up replacing all the underneath.
Right.
And the deck. Or does this include the deck?
This
deck
includes
this
the
includes the deck.
top? Okay,
Yes.
so it doesn't
It
include the
includes
stuff for
the
underneath.
stairs, the risers, and the
The
deck.
deck, but not the railings and the underneath.
Not the
Okay.
railings and not anything that we can't see underneath.
Right.
I know for a fact that the entire right-hand side of that stair has had it.
Yeah.
It's rotted.
So
All
the part up
trim-
against the building, Ted?
Yeah.
Not against the
The
building.
other side.
Against the handicap area.
The left, the right-hand side going
The
up.
right-hand
Which is your-
side,
That stringer.
going up the stairs is done.
Park opens up.
I
And
can
I-
orient myself.
I still think doing everything at once is the better solution. I mean, we're going to have to do it at some point, even if this adds an extra 7,000 to it. It still have to be done at some point, and it'll just continue to rot. So I would do everything at once. If you're tearing it apart, I would do everything at once.
I think it makes more sense than to cut in piece, because
Yeah.
if you're going to hitch it, if you decide you've got so much rot that you're not gonna do the top and there's a piece there that needs attention, now's the time
Yeah.
to do it, so.
It's also the most identified landmark in town, and if you've got part of it looking great, and then,
If we say, well, we're not gonna do the top, and then next year we got the money to do the top, people are gonna say, well, didn't they just do those steps last year?
Or maybe you can't get the same color.
We can't get safe,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
let's
lot
just
match
do
is
it all.
different.
I think we just
I
do
would
it
rather
all.
do that. I would just rather do it all.
We would love, we love what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing is, back to this page, where you see seams in the treads,
Yeah,
there won't be any seams in the treads where people walk. This stuff comes at 12 feet, and so what I'll do is to make the seam underneath the steel railing, right in the center of the,
Right.
The handrail.
right, in the- yes, the handrail,
okay.
so that you,
So that they're not
there will
walking
be
on it.
no joints in the walking area.
Great.
But that seam doesn't, that steel doesn't go right to the center of the door, so you'll have a seam at the top platform, right?
The top platform.
The boards go like this up there.
Oh, they go.
Yes.
Yeah, if you see the bottom,
Right, not the long,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
So there'd be a lot of seams up there.
A lot of things.
yeah, if you look there,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they're going that way.
Yeah, so I mean, that is pretty much it. We would, yes, love to do the top two, and that's why it's in the quote here.
Okay, so I guess I'll just make a motion to hire Ted and Meredith to do the front steps and do what needs to be done to do the whole thing. The whole step and decking and underneath it. And that's
Our plan is to do it May 8th through the, to start that week.
Okay. Do you have
The
any
demo will be
admin?
done by Memorial Day. and-
Yeah, I don't have
Get busy.
anything for that week. I've kept everything off of it.
Memorial Day, and if it runs
Oh,
over,
no,
at least.
Monday I get to go with Eric to do Green Up Day.
Ah.
You're getting out of that, already, you did it once, now you're getting out.
I love doing that. That was fun. Sorry, Ted, I do.
Right, so
Did you second that, Ian?
yes, I did.
We have a
Okay.
motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Get the old girl fixed up.
All those in favor?
All right.
Anyone opposed?
Thank you.
And we are taking it out of the building maintenance
Let's
fund.
work
right?
it.
Yes.
Now, I was gonna ask you, there's plenty of money there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank
We're
you so
good.
much.
Thanks, Ted. Thanks, Meredith.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank
That
you.
fun?
I'm sticking around, I hadn't.
Yeah, you're
Next.
next.
You're up next.
No, I'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Unless you wanna help her with the next presentation.
Human Power Parade?
Yeah, you want to be in the parade, Ted?
Oh, is there, actually, I had one
Run,
more,
Ted, run.
I had one more question.
The dog or Lindy?
Is Chris still there? Is Chris still there?
Yeah. Oh, is there-
Chris, Chris, does this project trigger the design review commission? I know it's replacing the deck with another deck, but because the material is changing, I just would want to make sure that we did everything right with that.
I don't believe so.
He's gonna go check.
Okay.
But will the color change?
Color wouldn't trigger it.
Wouldn't trigger it?
Right.
Okay.
But material might, so give me 30 seconds and I'll give you an answer.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see an issue. I'm on that commission, and I don't see anything wrong with changing the material. If it was a bright pink, material that they were being used, I could see that the commission probably frowning at that. But given what you've presented tonight, wouldn't see any problems with it.
If we're gonna do a hot pink Conex building, we should have matching stairs on the town hall.
Well, then we just, and when we do work on the library, we can tie that in too.
Yeah,
So.
there you go.
Nice.
We'll all know they're all town buildings.
There you
Hot
go.
pink, hot pink
I
will
mean,
be the new Bristol color.
Also, mentioning the library, I mean, that is a potential. If this works well and looks good and looks attractive, this is a potential solution for the library steps too.
Yeah, just thinking of that. Great. Well, Chris is looking that up. Do we want to move on? Do you want to get
Absolutely.
Meredith started with the other piece?
I think you're free to go, Ted, unless you want to hang around.
Yeah. So, let's see, consider
Ted.
the Recreation Department's request for the 2023 Human Powered Parade.
Yes,
So
so,
Okay, the only question I have for you is, that's the open house for the fire department that
Yeah,
day, so.
which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
Good-
thinking about
good
where you're
tie-in.
going, will it interfere with
Yeah, so I
cars
want to
coming
update
out?
you folks with the route. So in the past, we used to go to BES and had to cross that North Street.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely don't want to
You
do that.
stopped
We
doing that
didn't
a
do it
year,
last
so,
year, we did
yeah.
it for.
You're good.
Thank you.
All right, we're good.
Awesome,
Ian.
gentlemen.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris.
What
Thank
we
you, Chris.
do want to do this year is we want to ride to the town green and then back to the rec field. And
Where'd you go with the picture?
That is the
Sorry,
only difference
that was me.
Oh,
So would you go down, like, will you go down Munsell Avenue?
they were,
Sorry.
she had it up.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Hang on a second. Yeah.
I just started to look at it and it vanished.
I know. I wasn't sure if I was sharing. I've got two screens and I couldn't tell what was up and what wasn't. Hang on, let me try it again.
Oh, see, she's got this thing that's not a computer that works really well here.
So here we go.
So what we would do is go
There
from
it
the
is.
rec field
There it is.
Yeah.
to Pleasant Street, swing on down Maple, and then go to Church Street and through
The little
alleyway.
Yeah, nice.
Now, we do have a few folks that have a bigger kind of style of bicycle.
Like the T-Rex?
Yeah, so they might not fit through there. They're just gonna go around.
Really? How big is this?
Really?
Oh, it's really cool.
It's cool.
You
And
know-
I just, yeah,
So you don't think it's not bad just to go to the end of North Street, go down North?
don't
Not-
like North Street.
Stay on the sidewalk on North Street?
Not, what happens is, because we had about 70 people last year,
Oh, I see.
I don't want, North Street's just so dangerous.
I was thinking north side, the sidewalk on North Street.
Yeah, but if you got that many
Street,
people.
I see.
But and again,
Yeah.
if you got things with wings and,
Yeah.
you know, you're wiping
Um,
somebody out.
Flapping things.
Going on, oh, I might follow up with you on that. We do have, people at each intersection, volunteers to, be just crowd control, traffic control. We have them, that's what we do every year. But so the difference is just coming down Maple, cruising over to church and then over into the town green. We wanna be seen. It's a
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
The only thing I will tell you on that alleyway is where Jen lives, they come in and out of there, that's their driveway.
Hopefully Jen is
So-
actually in the.
Okay, well, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say her husband, boyfriend, whatever,
Tim.
yeah,
Yeah.
comes in and out of there, so just, I was gonna say if they're coming in, just be careful.
Well, I correspond with them.
Yeah.
But she said Jen's part of the parade probably, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, and then just we're riding back to the rec field and having a good time, and then also letting people support the fire department, because if they're doing walkthroughs, I'm pretty sure a lot of those kiddos would love to go see
That,
it.
that cool
And
little
use the nice
walkway.
walkway.
Yeah.
And I believe they're gonna I think they plan on doing a extrication demonstration as well.
Yeah.
Where
Cool.
they're cutting a couple cars.
Huh, so maybe
I
I'll
think they're
reach
gonna have a
out.
helicopter there.
Yeah, helicopters
Coordinate with
supposed to land and.
Oh, cool. So our parade is actually at 11, and it really takes like
Fit right
45
in.
minutes, not even. So that
Yeah,
would be
the open
great.
house is 9 to 1, so that's
Yeah.
perfect.
I think the extrication was gonna be from 11 to noon, but I'm not sure.
Huh?
We'll check with Brett, okay?
That's cool.
But yeah,
I
but
think
that
the-
is,
The route looks really good. My only worry would be, we know that given the speed studies that have been done, Liberty gets kind of fast traffic, even though it's not a great amount of traffic, not greater than North, obviously, but the speed studies show that people do really speed down there. So just something to be aware of since you're crossing that road.
yeah, what's nice about that is that we're crossing pretty quickly there, and
Yeah.
as a group, we're all really together.
Yeah,
But when
and
we
you have
come
good sight
back-
lines either way.
Yeah, when we come back, that is that'll become the highlighted spot.
That's just done good too.
Yeah,
So it's to and from the same route.
Yeah.
but you're starting at 11?
Yeah,
You
so we
started
gather
leaving the
at
rec field
10, and woo, have a good
That
time.
about- They're busy over there from 8 to 11, and it begins to tick off a little.
Depends.
Okay.
Depends, yeah, if you're
Well,
out plowing.
We're gonna,
And we're gonna move them next winter.
Yeah.
Not if we move you.
That's even better.
where to?
Never mind.
So yeah, so we'll have volunteers there to help with traffic control.
And then if you need to, on the North Street, I can get some cones for you, we can cone off that area down to there too.
There is just a couple of floats that won't fit through that little alleyway, so.
Just an option for you if you need to. Just let me know.
Joel, how does that, you were talking about the timing with the fire department event. What's the timing? Do they overlap?
Yeah,
Yes.
9 to 1,
9 to
and
1.
ours is
Okay.
10 to 1.
Okay,
With
great.
a 8 and 11.
I think it's great
I
that
should,
they.
I should try to get a drone shot of the stuff going on at the fire department and pulling back and then showing the parade. That would be pretty amazing. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, I would if my drone was working.
And I do believe they mentioned doing the extrication at 11 to noon,
Okay,
and then, the helicopter coming in just after that.
Oh, that's
It's gonna
great.
be great. The helicopter last time was unbelievable.
Not sure if we started or.
You wanna make sure your drone's not in the way when the helicopter comes out.
Is that why your drone doesn't work?
I did run into a rafter.
Oh no. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
my cat usually joins Meredith in her parade too, so.
Yes, yep.
Angus has been the grand marshal once or twice.
have-
So do we need to vote on this, yes?
We had a motion and a second.
Great, thank you.
All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
There we go.
Who was the motion and second?
I made the motion.
Ian made the motion and Peter seconded, I thought.
Thank you.
So I just sent Alicia a text message because she's the next presenter. So
I can also speak for her as a board member of Bristol Core if she doesn't manage to leap back on. I know that she was working this evening.
Oh, for the,
Okay.
okay.
It's back.
I like down the month of May and June, every weekend.
Are you coming over to help?
No. My wife said, we got a camper and I almost lost you to Sunday. You're not umpiring or not doing anything. Weekends. I can't blame her.
So Ian, do you want to get us started with this next one?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
consider request from Bristol Core to close Main Street on Saturday, June 17, 2023, from 1 PM to 9 PM for Pocock Music Festival.
What's the duration of the event?
The event is 3 to 8. Same as it's been for the last 5 or 6 years. We've obviously had a hiatus for the last 3 years due to COVID, but we're bringing it back this year. So street closes at 1. We start to move in trailers, things like that. And then the final band finishes around 8 PM or 8:05 or 8:10. And then the road is cleared and reopened at 9 PM.
Yeah. The only issue that I've ever been aware of there in the past is the fact that, the band plays a little bit longer and then they lollygag cleaning up and the road doesn't get open when it's supposed to.
Right. I don't remember since I've run it. I don't remember a time where we've ever not hit the 9 PM opening.
I know the last year you actually had it. We helped Dave take down the tents up and then we were out of there. We were done by 8:30. I think we were done down there. I mean, you might.
Yeah.
Our stuff was done.
One year you and I.
Yeah, it was very quick, and we'll be on that and making sure that opens because that's I know that's pushing it in terms of that's our maximum allotted time that the state really gives us to close a main road.
Yeah.
But we have
Ian,
obviously Yep.
Sorry, do you have the signs from like the July 4th that says the detour and that, or does that come from?
Those are actually Core's. Those are Core's signs. I had them made a couple years ago, 3 years ago. For the event. So we have those that we put out. I've already talked to property owners to set those in place. They'll go out a week before warning of the closure. We have the detour that goes around Mountain Street over down to Spring and then back to West Street. So that's all set. What else?
You need a state permit. Do you have to put up the lighted signs or can you get away with just the plywood signs like we use for the 4th of July?
Those I actually have reflective signs. I have state legal ones. We don't have to do it because it's so light in the evening. We don't need to have lit signs, thank goodness, like the giant ones. So we can use it similar to July 4th when they use their signs. We'll use ours. And we have in terms of closing the street. We were going to work obviously with the Bristol Police Department to make sure that it's closed correctly. We for the last 2 or 3 events, we haven't had traffic control. We haven't needed it because of the way that the streets were blocked off with signage and stuff like that. And we'll continue to do that. We have all the signs that were actually donated by, I think it was ECI, donated them about 3 years ago. So I know that Eric and crew have a good selection of road closure signs and detour signs. So we should be all set.
Ian, and you close it off at Mountain Street because I think one year didn't you close it off at the first Shaw's parking lot because people?
No, it's always been closed. The detours at Mountain Street, you can go through and go into Shaw's, so it's like a half closure. And we have signs right at the stage level, and we have 2 stages that go across at the top and bottom of the street. But the Shaw's is essentially where the road is closed. But we do have the detour starts at Mountain Street.
Okay, yeah,
So,
that's what I thought.
so to get the Shaws coming in from Lincoln or Starksboro coming from East Street, you gotta go up Mountain, then go over?
No, they
Or
don't.
come
You
into
can
the bank,
you can
go up by the
you can
bank.
go straight through. Essentially, we have a barrier that's on the left-hand side. And then so people can still enter and go through into Shaw's or exit through Shaw's and go out that way.
Okay.
And we've never really had any issues just because there are so many entrances to Shaw's. So it seems to be, we've never had any problems, I don't believe. Oh, there's Alicia.
Hi, Alicia.
You're on mute.
You're muted.
Stab that button.
One more time. You're
There we
still-
go.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay.
I'm playing hooky at work right now. Sorry.
No problem. No, Ian was able to walk us through everything. Do we have any questions in particular for Alicia?
Oh, we gotta make her sweat a little.
I've been sweating all day.
Did she get the bill for,
Yeah.
get the
Ian's
invoice?
gonna
Yeah.
get that to her.
We're closing the street.
Don't
Close the
believe their
sidewalk in
lies.
Burlington, $75.
I'll make a motion that we allow FOCOC to close the parade for Saturday, June 17th, 1 to 9.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great.
Thanks for, Alicia,
For your presentation.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's great.
I've been watching my phone all night, and then I looked away for 4 minutes. Here I am.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
No problem. Good luck with your
Okay.
event.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
I guess I should have asked, they put us on the insurance, right, or do they? If someone got
Yes,
hurt
we-
down there?
Or an additional.
Yeah,
Or
it's
additional?
we get Tulip Insurance, which is it's sort of situated for the downtown. It's the way you're on the insurance, but it's not like as an additional because it's a special one that's for the town and for the downtown area. So, but we'll do that the same as we've done every year.
All right.
Okay, moving on. Consider draft amendments 1 and 2 to the DWSRF loan number, you want me to read it off? RF3-477. Engineering Services Agreement with VTEMS Engineering related to the Pine Street water line replacement.
Good job, Darla. So hopefully folks had a chance to glance at either the notes or the documents themselves to see the context. The first amendment was to cover the $900 application fee that Steve Palmer paid, and the town actually reimbursed him. But in order for the town to get reimbursed for that expense, we need to have it reflected in his contract. And he's online now, and he can explain the rest of the second amendment.
Hi, Steve.
Hi there. How's everybody tonight?
Good. Thanks for
Fantastic.
joining us.
Just point of order for a minute, Valerie. It's not VTOM's engineering. It's
Oh, what did I say? It's
Valerie,
That's
no,
okay.
Darla
Oh,
said. I just want
VTM.
VTM, not.
VTM.
Yeah.
You know what? Jill and I spend so much time together, it might as well be.
I thought the same thing.
It's all good. So amendment number 2. So the original, by the way, the original engineering agreement, as you all probably realize, but to give a little background, was to finish the design that was started by GME, and that's the original agreement. Okay, when we go through any changes with DWSRF, and the changes really are when you get to the next phase and the next phase, each one of those is a change, and they want you to submit a separate amendment. You guys have probably been through this. So phase 2 is what phase 1 is what they would consider the preliminary engineering report. That's already been done. Phase 2 is design and permitting. Okay, that now has been completed. You now
They
have
call
all the
them
permits.
steps.
What's that?
They call them steps. Step 1,
Yes.
step 2, step 3.
Sorry. Exactly. And step 3 would be construction. So where we're at now is we did an amendment to step 2, which would be the design phase, and that amendment really was immaterial. We were going through the application, and it was easier to do this online and just have me pay the application fee rather than the town. So I simply paid the $900 fee. But to get reimbursed through DWSRF, we need to go through a formal amendment process, and that's what that's about. So it doesn't change the project costs at all. It's just a matter of who's paying the permit fee. So I think that one's pretty straightforward and simple. And by the way, we have to do all of these as a draft to DWSRF before they will approve them. But before we do that, the step one is to obviously work with you folks, because the agreement is between the town and me. So the second one is the amendment for construction level services, okay? And that's split up into a couple of pieces. The bigger pieces of that really are bid phase services, right? That's the first section. That's what we're just getting into right now. So we'll go through the bid process. In fact, that will get listed on the state's website on Wednesday. So officially, this project will be out to bid on Wednesday. We could, if the money had already been allocated to you through the state, we could actually award that. Well, we would have bids come in 30 days later, and we could award it within, let's say, 10 days of that. But you won't know whether or not you make the priority list, which I'm pretty sure you will, until around the end of June. So Valerie and I talked a lot about this, and I completely agree with her. I think to feel comfortable in awarding this project, you need to know whether or not the state is really going to allow you to borrow the money. So we'll know that somewhere around the end of June. So that bidding process is a little bit longer than it normally would be because of that reason. So we've got a little over 2 months to go through the bidding process. Once that gets awarded, we'll get into the construction phase services. The construction phase services require, can I borrow the screen?
Sure. Let me stop my share and I'll give it over to you. I have to make you a co-host. Hang on just a moment.
I think this might be easier if I can.
Here we go.
So even though we've had a bond vote, the state has to allow us to borrow the money?
Through their program. It's to make sure that we've crossed all the right T's and I's, dotted I's for their program.
That's right. And that's how you get the 50% reimbursement.
Yeah, well, we definitely want that.
Yeah.
So Steve, if you said that goes out to bid here on Wednesday, the 15th or 12th, 13th,
that's
and
right.
30 days we'll know. So within those, by May 23rd, a contractor in the state's going to know he got the contract or not.
We actually spread that out to 60 days because you're not going to know whether or not you have the money until we get.
Can we say, okay, ABC, you got the contract, but you can't start
until we know we got the money?
Until we know we got the money.
My advice would be not to legally award that project until you're sure you have the money. So we would sit here in limbo for, let's say, 5 or 6 weeks.
But the bid would be in, so they couldn't. What if their bid says
Subject to change.
Subject to change after 30 days, and we don't get told for 45 days?
You're going to know by the end of June. You know what I mean?
And the bid specifications are going to spell this outline out, so everybody knows. They'll have their eyes wide open going in.
That's right.
Okay.
We've got a pre-construction meeting coming up in about a month, by the way, and we'll go through all of this with them in the pre-construction meeting. Exactly what all the timelines are, what days to do. Anyway, I'm looking at a giant chart here on the wall. That's what I'm looking at. Anyway, bids are going to be due right about mid-June. So you're going to know before you're going to know who the apparent low bidder is long before they tell you whether or not you've been awarded the money.
Bids are going to be.
We'll be in good shape.
By June, middle of June. I thought you said the bids would go out here on Wednesday, and you got 30 days to get them in. 60
the bid
days
announcement. That's right. We have to give a minimum of 30. We're going to give them about 60. And just because we would tighten that up, but again, you're not going to know whether you have the money till you get out to the end of June. So you've got plenty of time. I just wanted enough. I wanted a couple of weeks in there that I could put together a bid review for you folks and a letter of recommendation, and you had enough time to review all of that. That's really my goal. And I'm happy to share the whole master schedule that Valerie and I have been working on with everybody if they want to see that. So
we also want to make sure that we give the bidders enough time to sharpen their pencils and submit competitive bids.
Yep.
And they're going to need time to do that.
So if we awarded it by, let's say, June 15th, they could get started within 2 weeks. I'm thinking of that holiday around this town. It's pretty
Yeah, Pine Street is.
Pretty big street for Pine Street on July 4th, I think it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So.
Bid opening.
It's saying in the contract, no work could start before July 5th.
We have bid
Well-
opening right now on June 9th. Okay? You won't know until the end of the month, and it's typically the end of June when the state comes out with a priority list application. Sometimes it goes into early July, but normally it's the last week of June. So you've got basically 3 weeks in there between bid opening. We're gonna know an apparent low bidder at that point. For me to do a bid analysis, and submit a letter of recommendation to you folks on who to hire.
Okay.
Okay, so you have plenty of time in there, and Valerie and I are going to work on funding agreement, which we will have ready to submit the day that they submit or they tell us the results of the priority list applications. So it'll all be ready to go. That one's not very difficult to do. Okay, so let me just pull this up. This is really the crux of it. Okay, there's two pieces to it. This is the bid phase services that we're talking about. Okay. This is really just about my time more than anything else. There's quite a bit to this.
I thought you were donating your time, Steve.
Trust me, I do donate quite a bit, trust me.
He does. He has been.
There's about...
We're not seeing your screen.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah.
No.
Keep sharing.
Okay, let me try again.
I don't know who you're sharing with, but it ain't us.
Okay.
There you go.
There you are.
You see me now?
Oh,
Let's try
that's
this all
lovely.
over
Nice
again.
shot.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
there.
it's neat. Run
Try
around the
this.
beach. I have that same one.
All right, this is, I'm just pulling up my Excel spreadsheet, right? I think it's a little easier to see than the PDF that I sent you guys.
Sure.
So here is the bid phase section of that. Okay, it's about $11,000. There's about 15 major milestones in here that are included in this. I didn't include them all on here, but if you look at the schedule, and there is a ton of paperwork in the middle of all this. So that's really what that represents. Okay, this is where the majority of the money is, and this is 100% about assumptions that will occur in the field due to construction. So I haven't gone through all of this other than with Valerie and Jill, but because of the time of year that we're bidding this, in other words, it would be ideal to bid this in the middle of winter, right? And that's really what our goal was. We couldn't get the state to get off their duff and give us the information we needed to put this out to bid and the okay to do it. When we finally got it, we got underway within a couple of days. And the DDE information, we had a 30-day window to get the disadvantaged business enterprise information out to folks. We did that, and that window will expire, I think, at the end of the day today, actually. So that's why this is going on the state's bid list on Wednesday. What we decided to do was to give them, I really think this is about a 10 to 12 week project at the most, because I think a lot of the contractors are going to have the majority of their work lined up by the time they bid this project. We wanted to make sure that they weren't squeezed in time, because time really equals money when it comes to construction. So if you tell a contractor, for instance, look, we're gonna put a timeline that we think is reasonable in here, and the contractor looks at that and says, you know, I'm pretty busy. If I'm going to bid this project, I'm going to throw a really high number at it. If I get the project, then great. If not, that's okay too. But they're going to put liquidated damages in at the end of this, which we are, and I want to avoid the liquidated damages. So rather than we really are after as low a number as we can get, right, in terms of the bids. That's really what we're after. So we gave them 100 days, which is really about 14 weeks, rather than, I would say normally we would probably give them 10 to 12 at the most. That's what these numbers represent. I think, in all honesty, this is all about time and materials work for us. And there isn't anything I can do about this. All of your permits require us to have full-time oversight out there. The DWSRF funding program requires the same thing. They require us to go through and have weekly meetings, and you know, I've got to do meeting minutes for state and for you folks every single week. I've got to be on site a certain number of hours a week. Anyway, everything's pretty set in stone, and it's just simply about how long this takes. I honestly don't believe, I think this is a pretty conservative number, and that's the big part of this. Okay. I think this is going to come in around 600 hours, but that's a guess. I would rather at this stage, remember, this is all time material. So if it only takes them 10 weeks to get through this, there's only going to be 10 weeks worth of time in here. Okay. But I would rather set up a time materials budget that I'm pretty confident we aren't going to exceed. And you folks are probably going to come in under on.
So Steve, what would happen if in the highly unlikely instance that the hours go beyond what's projected and additional expenses are, since this is a not to exceed proposal, what happens then?
So I set up the liquidated damages to make sure the contract is paying.
That's what covers that.
So in other words, if it goes beyond this, if it went beyond 14 weeks, Valerie, first we would be well into December. And at that point, the contractor is going to pay you essentially $1,000 a day, which is going to cover my expenses.
Got it.
Yeah, they're not going to be very happy about doing that. And that's the downside of having a very short construction window, right? I think you're going to get much higher bids if we really try to tighten up that window. That's
Would we have to amend your contract again? Or does this cover that?
What you have, I'm just showing you the spreadsheet that's in the very back of the amendment.
Sure.
that I sent you. And that's what this represents.
Yep.
Better booster, right?
And I can pull that up on the screen if you'd like. I think everybody has that in front of them though.
No, we're good.
This number plus this number are the total that you have in the amendment. Okay? So I believe it's $121,000. And again, it's 100% about the assumptions that we're making right here. So if I go ahead and assume there's only going to be 10 weeks of construction, and this ring really comes in at 14 weeks of construction, number one, I think the contractor is going to throw a higher price at you folks. And number two, I'm probably going to be under on what we assume. I'd much rather give you a conservative number and say, this is what I think it's going to take, and this is a pretty conservative number, and I don't think we're going to have to come back here again and do this again. Because it's a big deal to go through the state again and get the amendment. It's a long process.
Steve, I gotta ask because this is beyond my brain capacity here.
Okay, yep.
So ultimately, when I'm looking at the numbers here, the increase in cost is 121,000 beyond what we originally budgeted. Is that what we're saying here?
No, not at all. We only budgeted for the engineering cost, for the design and permitting costs. Okay, and that's intentional. The state wants you to do it this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roughly 21,000.
Right.
That's right. This is a known. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish your
No,
thought.
I was going to say this is every single project is done the same way. Okay, so we go through the step 2 services, the design and permitting services, and then we go through the step 3 services, which these represent, which are the construction services. Every single project is done this way. This isn't a change that was unknown. What's unknown really, or what assumptions are we going to put in here, right, to come up with these numbers? So my goal for you guys is to get the lowest possible bid out of the contractor that we can get. If it ends up costing us a little bit more money here, if for instance our bids come in $100,000 cheaper, right, because we did this and we allowed them some extra time and we spent $10,000 more in this part of the contract, that's a pretty good deal for us. Right?
Pretty good swap.
Yeah, it is a pretty good swap. Exactly.
Are the bids out yet, or?
No, they've said it'll be out
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So is it in there that it has to be repaved back before winter flies?
Yes.
Well,
You're pushing end of
Yep.
October, you're pushing before the plants are closed.
They got their own, well, some of them got their own.
Well, it
plan.
depends on who gets it, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, by Thanksgiving, it's gotta be paid before Thanksgiving week, for sure.
That's right.
Plants close the
week before.
usually Thanksgiving weekend. They're done that week.
Yeah, when they go home for Thanksgiving, they don't open back up.
And I
So
think
Steve, you said something about could go in December. Is that if they awarded that bid, let's say by June 25th
July,
or something,
August, September.
would they
that's-
start by July 25th, 30 days, or they're gonna say, we're gonna go in there in September and October, November and hope to get it done and patched in by the paving plants? Do we have in the contract, is there something that says after awarding the bid, the contractor has X number of days to get started?
It will, and we're going to assign a notice of award, right? And then there's going to be a notice to proceed. And there can be a difference in timeline in that. I think you're probably going to want to leave a couple of weeks in there. And I say that only because the contractor is going to need to be able to get all of the materials on site in a hurry, and the Buy America requirements are in place for instance, anything steel. So that would be all your valves, for instance. They're not, when I'm saying about that, by using the Buy America requirements, sometimes they're harder to get those materials, right? Longer lead times.
Yeah, because they're closer. If you're getting them from India, you can get them in a week or two's time, but if you're getting them from the US, it takes a month.
You're right, but I think one of the things that Valerie and I are gonna, and Jill, I should say, as part of this as well, we're gonna evaluate pretty closely once the apparent low bidder is known. We're gonna go through that bid evaluation process pretty quickly. The sooner we can award the project to the contractor, the more time they're gonna have to be able to get these materials and get things in place.
Yeah.
So if we don't go through this process now and do the bids up front, I mean, normally you would have, in a normal process, DWSRF would have already awarded you the money. And we'd be doing this after the fact. But if we wait, we're into next season. There is no doubt. If we don't bid this now, this isn't going to happen until 2024.
I just said that. Can we put it out in the fall and winter and get a better price for next year?
I'm not sure. I don't have to tell you what's happening with materials.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not
and the
slowing
other
down.
thing is like you stated last meeting, we're not the only ones in this pickle. And I've spoken to a couple of contractors and they have crews freeing up in the end of June. So they're waiting for this to come out to be
I
able
hope
to
that's
bid
true,
on.
yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
and that's what they've told me, that, it sounds like this would be a sweet job, so.
And Steve, is this, I haven't seen the bid, the description of what we're gonna have done besides the water line. Are we going just to curb stops or going all the way to the houses with new copper?
Just for the curb stops. Anyway,
Are we
there's a
gonna
whole
have
bunch of,
a bid alternate to give us a price from the curb stops to the house on, so
that
much a
would-
foot or what?
so I think in a larger phase,
Whoops, sorry. Go
in a
ahead.
larger phase that we're talking about doing, right, not Pine Street specific, but to the remainder of the project. We've had a long discussion about that. The reason that I recommended to Valerie and Jill that we not do that here is that they're going to require you, EPA is going to require you to have construction easements for every single one of those properties. That's not going to happen in the timeline that we have.
Okay. All right. It's not that you don't recommend replacing the pipe. It's another permitting issue.
Exactly.
I thought if it wasn't copper, we had to replace it.
Well, that's what I'm wondering why we're doing a survey. I'll find out what's in the ground of every household we got.
That's right.
Are we gonna make us replace them, go back and replace them?
And we have to do the archaeological assessment and the environmental assessment for every piece of property that we're going to be on. So, and we have not done that for Pine Street. We didn't plan for that to be part of this project. But I think as we look at the larger project and we look forward, that's certainly something we're going to do. And Jill and Valerie have been talking about ways that VTUMs may be able to assist some of the residents along Pine Street to be able to replace the lines that they find that are likely lead.
So I guess then back to that.
What's the difference?
On their own
Because
nickel.
they'd be doing it on their own,
Right.
as opposed to it being in the
Homeowners.
project.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we
Correct.
should be able to have a price in there,
Price per foot?
or a contingency if you come by my house and find out it's galvanized and I want to change it while everything's
Yes.
dug up.
Exactly.
I think that's what we did on West Street. We changed the ones that wanted to be changed when we were going through.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what we're talking about. Or one of the things we've been talking about.
What's an average cost for a homeowner?
It's been so long since I bought any copper.
I mean, are we talking $1,000, $10,000? What are we?
Depends on how far away from
Yeah.
the curb stop they are.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out.
That's why they're doing it per foot.
Right.
And do it per
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah, each house changes as it's, mine's
Right.
pretty close to, I had mine done 35 years ago when I bought that house.
You were
But
smart.
it's copper, yeah.
Yeah, it's copper now, but that was part of the agreement when I bought it.
And your neighbor across the road had theirs done a couple of years ago, right?
Clark's did, yeah. I just, my point has always been to the board is, Stephen, is if we're doing 2,800 feet of new 8-inch and we got 32 connections down there and and let's say, I know 2 of them are copper, so there's 30 that are galvanized. Do we have 30 potential leakers? Did it really make a lot of sense to do a brand new 8-inch main when we could leak in more water going to the houses than what the mains were leaking?
Right. No, you just answered your own question. Of course you do.
Yeah, so I'd like to at least have in that bid, a cost per foot that we could eventually
Allow the homeowners.
You can work with a contractor, he's given us a cost per foot, and we recommend you, and we talked briefly, I thought, Valerie, months or even a year or so ago, when this has been on the plate, was we would work with a homeowner with that through their water bill.
Yeah, budget.
I don't think we want to put that in the bid documents, though. That'll.
Budget that part, no, I get
No,
that.
any of that. But there would be a side discussion with the contractor that they would negotiate, or that we would assist in their negotiations, but we don't want to put any of that in the contract documents.
Right. We're discussing all of that right now, in fact, for the larger project, and I think.
Do we want to at least put in the contract that the board would like a price per foot as an amendment? If
We don't need to have that in the contract. I think we can have that as a conversation and some.
I don't want to
Okay.
convolute the contract.
Okay, no, I agree. I just,
Yeah,
Yeah, when you get into the easements and all that, it's a nightmare.
yep.
Right, and it could take some time, and.
I just got one question.
this one?
Just one. If for some reason, and I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does happen where they don't get that paved back because the plants are closed or whatever, is there a contingency in there?
$1,000 a day if it's not completed.
So they'll take care of any potholes or whatever that comes aside through the winter?
Yeah,
Cause you know you're not gonna
just
be
like
able
the
to pave it
West
once
Street
the pavement plants are closed.
And once it
Right.
freezes.
And once it freezes, so are they gonna maintain their work area until they can pave it?
They would have to, by contract, they would have to.
Okay.
I mean-
personally like to see the contract written, Baker and Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but the base pavement be only put in this year.
You
and not the
can't.
top.
You can't because it won't match what's there.
Right, not unless you're gonna overlay the whole thing.
They're only, I think they only need to put in base because we're gonna overlay the whole thing when they're done.
Well, are we gonna overlay it or let it settle like they didn't do that a number of years ago at Liberty Street, and then it settled on you, remember? And then we had a hog trough and we had to do it again. Mother Nature will settle it over the winter, and I don't care how much they roll it and pound it down, it's still gonna settle.
Yeah, but they can't, they're only matching what's there. And if you leave it, if you put in just the base, you're gonna be 1.5 inches, 2 inches below what's there.
The curb, you mean the valve?
The existing pavement.
Existing pavement, because they're not taking
Because
the whole
Joel, it's
street.
only a section of the road. It's not
Okay,
the entire width
okay.
of the road.
All right,
Oh, that's right.
that's right. So Eric will maybe schedule that street for the following year if it's not
For the following spring,
the
yes.
following
Yeah.
spring. Oh, okay, all right, that answers my question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I keep forgetting that too. I imagine this project just decimating the entire road, but it's only a small sort of section as they dig up and put, because there's not any pipe that's being removed. It's just a new one's being put in next door to it.
Yeah, and they're not gonna, as somebody who's bid these, they're not gonna take any more pavement than they absolutely have to.
They'll cut it first before they pop it, right?
That's right.
They'll be half that road, won't they, Peter, you think? or-
Well, if they run a trench box and depending on how they do it, yeah, they'll be 10 feet, yes.
Yeah, okay.
We put maximum pay limits in here for paving, so if they go beyond whatever the maximum pay limits are, they're paying for it on their dime.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say too, just to wrap this up, that if we get into the latter part of October, all of those discussions that you folks are having, we're gonna be having with the contractor. So, we're not gonna leave 2,600 feet of street open no matter what. At some point, we're gonna pave, even if we're not 100% done, they're gonna get in and pave the 85 or 90% of the street that's done. And that's gonna be something you folks are gonna insist on, so.
And then that, I highly doubt that's gonna happen if there's liquidated damages.
I agree with you. They're gonna wanna get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I make a motion, we we approve the amendments to the contract.
I'll second it.
Michelle's in the bathroom, but
Yeah.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Dan, for the next one?
What is the next one?
The next one is authorize.
Probably more you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The
Authorize-
wastewater system.
Yep.
Thanks. Do you want to wait till Michelle?
Now you're gonna get in it deep. Somebody waist deep.
Now you're getting right into the crap.
Yikes.
Not that I know.
We're all set.
Yeah, we don't.
No,
need
actually,
Eric for
Steve
anything,
doesn't have any, he can spectate if he wants to, but he doesn't really have he's not involved in this one. Yeah.
Val, is Eric all set?
Yes, yeah.
Great.
Good.
Thanks, Eric.
Good night. Go
Good
get
night,
ready to
Eric.
plow. It's gonna snow tonight.
Oh, God.
They're all, I just put new blades on them, ready to go. Good night. See you guys.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, see ya.
Okay.
Steve,
Well,
you gotta
hopefully
put
this
your
is pretty
down.
quick.
Can I, well, this is probably the wrong, no, never mind. Okay. Well, I was gonna, Sharon's on, and is Sharon only staying to do
I'm
the
sorry.
warrant?
Apologize
Is
for that.
That's okay. Is Sharon only staying to do the warrant?
Let me do this.
I'm listening to what's going on.
Okay, because I know that you often stayed because you were doing the minutes, but you're no longer doing that anymore. But I didn't want to have you stay for the entire meeting, only for you to say, "Here's the warrant, bye, everyone."
Yeah.
No, I like to listen to what's going
Okay.
on. So.
Okay, good. I just
cool.
wanted to make sure.
And we didn't
Okay,
ask on her own department heads, we didn't get a report.
She wasn't here.
She wasn't on.
Well, she is now.
Oh, sorry, I was doing something else and forgot
okay.
what time it was.
It's okay.
Is there anything we need to know, Sharon, while we've got you that's going on in your department?
Hopefully I'll get the water bills out this week. We've been working really strongly with EJ Prescott and Nemrick and Jill and I to try and figure out why we have so many meters that aren't reading and what's things that we didn't know how to do. So I've learned a lot about our program now. So hopefully in the next couple days, we'll be able to get the water bills out.
Right alongside the tax payments coming due.
Yeah, tax payments are coming in. They're due next Monday. Peeker and Joel and Darla.
You got an envelope
and
on
Michelle.
your desk. Sharon,
Mine's
and
full.
Ian.
Come on. I was gonna say mine's
Sharon, you
full,
got an
right?
envelope on your desk right now.
Okay, great.
I left
Great.
it tonight.
Just full of cash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting the world know.
Yes, been letting the world know.
Well,
They
if he
got
left you
extra
an
couple
envelope full,
days.
maybe now I can afford
Yeah.
I'm full of
mine.
cash, full of one check.
First, please swing by the town hall.
Yeah.
Check on Joel's envelope of money.
It's got a check in it. Made at the time.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks
so
for that,
people
Sharon.
are,
If we'd set the alarm on our building that we paid plenty of money for, we wouldn't need that.
well, there is
Well,
that.
I don't walk out of the bank without setting the alarm every night if I have to leave it. But we got one we don't bother using. Yeah, I know. We don't anymore.
Because I set it off several times.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't need to tell. You don't need to tell
Sharon
the
was
public
still
that,
going
Joel.
and we cut her off. Sorry,
Too
Sharon.
late.
Sorry, go ahead, Sharon.
No, that's all right. We've got about 176 dogs registered now, so hopefully they keep coming in.
Including mine.
And let's see what else is going on. I'm done with the town meeting, so that's good. Hopefully we won't have any more other meetings this year. We do need to purge the checklist, so that's something I'll be working on.
And you've got a new
Overweight
assistant.
permits are winding down. What was that, Ian?
You've got a new assistant.
Yes, I do. I do. He's already done some land records for me, and we're teaching him how to do the cash register. He's learning payroll from Anthony. So,
Great.
yeah, we're moving along.
Great.
Good.
Thanks, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right, shall we move on to number 6? Or do we want to hear from Bruce? Well, we've got Bruce here too. Well, we're in the middle of it. Bruce, are you at a point where you can talk to us?
Sure.
Are you eating dinner?
No. I was resting up from my hill climb. I didn't realize how steep the hill was behind the community bank until I was looking for evidence there.
Yeah, it's pretty steep.
Yeah, and there's lots of bushes to scratch yourself on. Anyway, we spend a lot of time with people that are in mental health crisis, or we're proactively speaking with people, so we're not getting to the point that they're in crisis. I don't think I emphasize enough how much the officers go out of their way to meet with people throughout the week and check on them, especially after we've had an encounter with them. We'll spend, easily half an hour to an hour with a person trying to assist them. And it's gotten to the point that some of the agencies that get assistance, or excuse me, provide assistance for them, are reaching out to us because of our connection with the residents. So I've got to do a better job of promoting how much these police officers go out of their way to be proactive with our residents and try to assist them as much as possible. I don't want to create an incident report every time we do that, because then the list will just continue to grow. But we do spend a lot of time with people. And now that the weather is nicer, people are out, and we've been dealing with some juvenile issues as well. But other than that, pretty much the same as everything else. I guess we're business as usual, I guess what I'm looking for.
You mentioned residents, but how, to what degree are the numbers of those folks from outside of town that are in town when situations come up that you spend time with? And so they're not actually Bristol residents, but they're from, neighboring places or passing through, but you need to spend the time.
I'll have to look at the numbers, but I would say probably 30% are from out of the area. And because they hear that we're nice people to talk to, they come to Bristol to meet us. So,
So there's a grapevine.
Is that a good, bad thing?
it's good because I'm not, I don't have to wrestle with them. If we can have that connection, that relationship, whatever you want to refer to it as, where we're having conversations instead of waiting until they're in crisis. But when they do, when they are in crisis, I don't want to get off topic, but as a society, we are poor at providing assistance to people. And right now, there is such a long wait for some people to get into an appointment that they don't know who else to turn to, and they're dialing 911, or they're knocking on our door saying, "Can you help us?" So, but anyway, let's move on.
Thank you, Bruce.
Well, even more of a reason to explore that mental health and that social worker position that we've talked about in the past. I think it'd be nice to keep that on the select board's agenda for future discussions.
Yep. Thank you for your work, Bruce.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now we can jump back into our agenda. How about item number 6 here? Authorize issuance of a request for qualifications for selection of an engineering firm to prepare an updated preliminary engineering report for pretreatment improvement alternatives for the Bristol Core area septic system.
Yeah, hopefully that's pretty straightforward. I think most everybody knows that the septic system is aging, and it has an annual inspection every year. And back in 2018, we received a report from Green Mountain Engineering of pretreatment alternatives that they studied. The cost ranged. The least expensive was over $600,000, and which was immediately cost prohibitive. And really prevented us from taking any positive steps forward. But time has not been our friend. And so all this agenda item is asking is to put the RFQ out and solicit responses from qualified engineers. And once we land on a selected a preferred engineer and we ask them to submit a cost proposal, once we are in that realm of discussion, then we can have a better handle on the steps going forward to update this preliminary engineering report to see what technologies are out there now, what cost ranges are we talking about, and how can we most take advantage of the various funding options that now exist that didn't exist in 2018.
So right now, you just want an authorization to put a
just the RFQ. Yep.
So moved.
Doesn't commit us to do anything more, but we would want to consider it for sure.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I have some discussion. And Val and I have talked about this, but I want to sort of make it public. Sort of the reasons behind looking at this particular kind of project. And, you know, Val, you and I have talked, and I asked whether it was sort of to improve the capacity, to allow more people to connect. Was it to protect the system, to make sure we don't have problems and things like that? So I don't know if you can speak a little bit about that, Val.
It's really all of the above, but the priority is to treat the material going in to help preserve the life of the system, because there's no backup. There's no replacement septic field. And so it's in the community's best interest to maintain that system as highly best as we possibly can, which includes pretreatment of the material going in, that would enable the capacity to increase either among the current property owners that have existing businesses that could perhaps expand the number of seats or some other expansion to their enterprise, or perhaps the district itself, the district boundaries to include further up North Street or further to the west, a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit. But again, the priority really is maintaining the health of the system.
Okay, super, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Val, we'd have to pay for this out of pocket or apply for a loan for it at this point?
Through the Clean Water Revolving Loan Fund, we hear that there's still this up to 50% forgiveness available for planning loans. So that's an option. But yeah, some of it would have to come out of the towns or the district's resources.
Val, can I add to that?
Please.
Okay. So Val is absolutely on the money, but really this system was designed for a hydraulic capacity of about 20,000 gallons a day. You folks use about 8,500 gallons a day per day today. About 5 years after the system was designed, state came out with some additional monitoring requirements. So they started looking at, in addition to total flow, they started looking at biological oxygen demand, total suspended solids. There were a whole bunch of things that got put into a new permit that you received. Today, and really what's driving us, Val's completely accurate in telling you it's about the health of the system, but we average, when we look at flows, we average 2 years, and there's a formula we use to come up with what the average loadings are for total suspended solids and BOD. So what's really happening, right? We average the 2 years, including the first year, which was COVID, and your flows were way down. And we still, last year, when we went through the inspection, you still rode right on the limit of the permit. When we get to this inspection season, which is going to happen in about a month, you're going to exceed your limits, I'm confident, by quite a bit. So the state's going to come back to you and they're going to say, okay, you've exceeded your limits for this. What is your plan to do it? And that's really what Val's after. She wants to make sure that she goes in and says, okay, here's the town's plan. We've put out an RFP to hire an engineering firm with expertise in municipal wastewater design. And that's really important, by the way. This is a specialty in itself. And I think you really want to hire a firm. This is like kind of going to the family doctor or going to the orthopedic surgeon, right? That's really the difference here. And you in this case want to go to the orthopedic surgeon. And that's the right move. There's so much new technology that's moving along, even in the last 3 or 4 years. Since that original study was done by GME, there's a whole bunch of new technologies that have come out. And I think you guys would be wise to hire a firm with that kind of expertise. So, and by the way, this process is going to allow you to qualify for a whole bunch of federal funding that you wouldn't otherwise qualify for. Okay?
Yeah.
So by doing this, by the way, you're going to be able to hopefully, that's part of this process, get back up to an allowed capacity of 20,000 gallons a day. So all of those questions that you had, can we expand the downtown? Can we expand our businesses? Do we have more wastewater capacity? The answer to that is yes. You're going to be able to go from your flows today, hopefully, of 8,000 or 9,000 gallons a day up to 20,000 gallons a day. That's the goal, or should be the goal, I think.
Thank you, Steve. That was terrific.
Okay, so we had a motion and a second and some discussion. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you.
you're welcome. What's up next?
This should be a quickie.
Let's see, yes, number 7, approve and sign the loan RF 3-498-1.0 loan documents from the DWSRF Waterline Inventory Project. There, I signed it already.
I'm gonna say so moved, so moved and have Darla sign it.
I'm signing it right now.
Okay.
Was that Joel who seconded?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There we go.
And that's a personal guarantee on that note, right? Signing that paper.
Good luck. You've seen my house. Okay, number 8, continued appointment and/or reappointment of town officers or representatives may include deliberation in executive session to discuss appointments.
I'll make a motion to appoint the people that have said yes, which are Ted Desmond for Development Review Board, Jim Weening for the Design Review Board, Review Commission, Joel for Fence Viewer, Carolyn Dash for Breed Up Day Coordinator, and Dan Sonneborn for Maple Broad Band CUD.
Second.
All those in, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
You never say no if anybody opposed, but I assume
I
it's
didn't
just
like,
because you're
because I
here
know
all
everybody
day.
says yes. I figured we're the only ones here.
Yeah.
We all approve. How's the recruitment going for some of those spots? I guess is my only question.
I have not done any specific outreach. I know that Carolyn Dash has done direct outreach and through Front Porch Forum for the Conservation Commission. I should
Number
say
9.
yet.
Number 9, review and approval of the March 27, 2023 meeting minutes.
Hopefully folks had a chance to look at them. They went out earlier this afternoon and were posted.
I have not had a chance.
I did not look, but I think Joel had.
I
some
did,
minutes.
and well, I'll start, I don't know why I didn't print page 1.
Maybe you liked page
Not
1.
that's on it.
But anyway, page 3, Valerie. At the top, Eric responded to investigating the possibility of changing from a line strum delivery of a design. It says diesel to a new company. It's not diesel, it's actually diesel additive, it should say, I believe. Right, Peter? We're not switching, we're not buying new diesel, we're buying a diesel additive.
It's the DEF.
DEF, it's called.
Great.
for diesel.
Thank you.
Okay. And then on page,
Diesel exhaust fluid.
yeah, diesel exhaust here. Page 4 at the bottom, I didn't remember anybody discussing the septic capacity at the fire station if we built it. It was under the police station being renovated or built over there. I don't remember ever anybody mentioning the septic capacity at the site. And it says here, and discuss septic capacity.
I think they did.
Did
Yeah.
they? Okay,
That was-
I
that was
had a
on
question there. So page 5 was fine, page 6, and then page 2, here it is.
You already cleared that.
Page 2, when the listeners were talking, they had some questions answered regarding appraisal of large municipal buildings. I think we wanted the large commercial
Yeah, it wasn't municipal.
buildings,
Wasn't municipal, yeah.
not municipal building. They didn't ask a question about appraising. This is a municipal building, a town fire station. This was commercial buildings, I believe.
Correct.
They were talking
Yeah,
about
that's
the
right, Joe.
And
Thank
then page
Good
7,
catch.
I looked it up last, you got down, the warrant was for the amount of $6,190.54.
Yeah, that's not right.
And it was actually, here's the paperwork for it. From 327, it was $80,190. If that 6 should go away and it should be an 80 there. $80,190.54. When I saw that, I go,
It's good to have that correct.
I said, I don't think we've ever done a pay order that long. So I says, I gotta look that up. So that's the ones I had.
Good catches, Joe.
Okay, that's it for me. But if you wanna wait for theirs, that's fine, but those are mine, so I won't have to repeat them next month, or in 2 weeks. Okay, that's all I had for minutes.
Alrighty.
So that's waiting till the next time?
Yeah, I'll try and go through them tomorrow.
Well, you have 2 weeks now.
Try tomorrow. If you're like me, you'll procrastinate and it'll be the day after the meeting again.
So number 10, consider amendment to the March 13th, 2023 meeting minutes regarding appointment of town officers.
And make a motion to approve the March 13th, 2023 minutes with the amendment, or the amended version.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Authorization of accounts payable and any liquor or tobacco licenses.
The warrant is $39,493.50.
And there are liquor.
Did I get it right, Sharon? Sorry, I stole
Yes,
your
you
thunder.
did. Yay.
And there is a liquor license in there, isn't there?
There's three.
Several. Oh, sorry, several.
Yeah.
I make
We
a
have
motion to approve all.
It's on everything, it said sign.
Okay,
ahead,
so
Sharon.
we have snaps. They have a first class, a third class, and outside consumption. The Legion has a first class, third class, outside consumption, and their tobacco license. And then the last one is South Mountain that has a first, a third, and an outside consumption. And the terms that we usually put with them is they can't serve alcohol on the porch after 10 o'clock. And the tavern must close by midnight with all the customers out, exception New Year's Eve. They can stay open until 1, as long as Bruce still agrees. And then the tavern must close their overhead door by 10 p.m. if there is music. So,
Motion to approve is recommended?
I have
That
a
work?
Yeah. I have a quick question. On the American Legion, I know they're, their outside consumption, they're fenced in. We don't ever put any conditions on that one because it's fenced in. Okay.
They can't believe that area. Was there a second to that?
I second it.
Okay, Michelle.
All right. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you.
thank you.
Welcome, Sharon. Select Board Roundtable. Michelle.
I don't have much. I do want to thank Eric and them for grading the roads, but talking with Eric, I mean, our road has been destroyed just from people spinning out and digging it up. It's like open season when you see it freshly graded, but I do want to say I appreciate them doing it.
Joel?
Just a couple of things. I actually saw, wasn't VTUMS, but there was some water guys out, must have been testing yesterday,
Yep.
Easter Sunday, listening to fire hydrants and stuff, he had headgear on and stuff, so.
It was the leak detection
Yeah, we're
exercise.
trying to find that leak. And people, again, if you see any water bubbling in the ground, call us, anybody out there in the water district. And Valerie, are we gonna do any sidewalk bids this year? We're gonna replace any
I have
sidewalk?
not been prepared to do anything. The sidewalk replacement plan that had been developed several years ago, we've gone pretty, not far, but down the list, and I needed help. I reached out to the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee for help in updating that list because it wasn't clear to me what next ones needed to be done. So the scope of work, I need clarification on what the scope of work needs to be.
Well, Pete Coffey's back from Florida and he walks the streets. Maybe we could ask him. He would probably give us what he thought was good and what wasn't. He did it before.
And when
Did
we
he
do the last
originally
one?
do the list we have?
He did.
Yes.
Yeah. 2016-17. So some UVM students will be working with the Bike Ped Committee to update this inventory and priority.
That's great.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
when we had the company actually came up and did a decent job on East Street from Connecticut, was that this year we're wrapping up, or was that before July 1 of last year?
Doesn't matter, it's capital money.
Oh, it's capital, sorry, Peter. I just was wondering, should we get, maybe because it's late, hold hold off, put something out in October or November to start 24 and do a big bunch again.
That's quite possible, yeah.
Once we have the list updated.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
And that's all I had.
Beaker?
Verney Cemetery.
Which one?
And,
That's Hart's Corner?
yeah.
That, you saw, I had a note written here to Beaker, or the tree guy from Job Corps there, and he said he hadn't called me. I'm gonna call Job Corps again tomorrow. He said.
I just, we're pushing
Springtime
planting, we're pushing planning and if we're gonna do, if we're not gonna do something, which there's some dead trees in there that should really come down, I gotta get down there and get the ones that are down out of the cemetery before he.
Yeah. Set them out.
Yeah.
Get them loaded and gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have.
That's it. Ian?
I continue to work on the bus shelter project. I've learned from Tom Wells that the small piece of land that the little bell box sits on is actually deeded to the town and 5 feet around it. He sent me the details about that. So if we wish to put a bus shelter there, it would be the town applying for the permit and not Tom Wells, and he says he's fine with that. So just wanted to update you on that. I continue to work with Parmelo for that location, and I just need to sort of start the permitting process with Parmelo, and then this new one for the town at Park Place or Park Street.
What are our intentions with the bell?
I don't know yet.
I mean, I think that's why we own the land there, because it was the Bristol High School, and I'm assuming that if we own the land, we put the bell there.
Yes, I think that's the case. And I know that, Joel, you've expressed that staying there, it is a great location for the bus shelter. And since we've run into the ability not to place it on church property, this was sort of the next best location. Initially, I thought about removing it and speaking with Reg at the Historical Society to see if they perhaps wanted it. But I looked over the materials as I was over there a couple of days ago, and it's sort of nice to have, and it's great to have that history. So, and Tom, I don't think he's against keeping that building there. It would just have to be placed maybe in between the two trees that they have there on his land. And he's open to that too.
So it wouldn't have to leave the building, so to speak.
Yeah.
Correct. So it would be moved over. You'd have two structures there. It definitely needs a little bit of work. It needs some paint. It needs sort of cleaning up with the display part of it. But it's if we can't really do the opposite, because between the trees isn't a tremendous amount of space, and it starts to go right where those parking spaces are to put a bus shelter structure. So I still feel that the structure would sit better where the bell location is, but I'm definitely happy to explore just moving that between the trees and talking to Tom about that.
Put a bell tower on the bus shelter. You don't think so, Joel?
That would have to be one sturdy bus shelter.
I thought you were going to say on the old high school, put the bell tower back on there, but I was like, it's going to cost.
I guess I go ask the $1 million question. So we voted to accept those ones over the mountain. Yes or no?
Well, they were
going on
private
private
property.
property.
So it's a
So we didn't have to vote to accept them.
right.
Well, I think we do.
No, as long as the private property owner is willing to put them on their property, we don't have to accept them. Because we're not doing anything with them other than
Setting them up.
Okay.
Maintenance is
Because
part of.
5 feet, even if we put it over by the bell tower, 5 feet's not enough around that bell tower unless you move the bell tower, which I'm not in favor of.
Well, but the bell tower could stay on that property, just in another location.
And then it have to be on, I guess the question is,
property.
Tom and Carol, does he want the bell tower on the
Yes.
property?
Well, that's what he just said.
Yeah.
He has talked.
Or
to them. Well, he'd
rather have the bell tower?
Tom seems amenable to having the bell tower on that property. I mean,
as well as.
Yeah, as well as the
Issue
shelter.
by moving the shelter the other way.
Okay.
Right.
And again, Joel, I know you have concerns about the shelters, Joel. I think it's something that we should try. I think we have this great opportunity. I think they're not the same as metal structures, but it's something much more unique. The property owners seem excited about them. So I think it's something we can try, but it is, TVT is responsible for their upkeep and maintenance. So if things do go wrong with them, it's their responsibility. And they don't want the bus shelters to fail. They want them to be successful and want them to work. So I think we should at least.
And I think the bell tower land is actually, have Reg check it, I believe it's owned by the school district, Bristol Town School District, because that was a Bristol Town School District building and not the town of, even though it's the same pot of money, so to speak, and it's, I think that's owned by the Bristol Town School District.
The
You're
bell
probably
is all,
right.
the land is
No,
owned by the
the
town.
land around that, you said that 5 around that and 5 feet around that is owned by the town. I think it's not the town of Bristol, I think it's the town school district, Bristol Town School District.
Which is no more, so it'd be the unified district.
Right, that's what I think,
Yeah.
we may have to peel this onion back a little further to put a bus shelter that I think should, at the minimum, have to go through DRB.
You know, Joel, I've been on the fence back and forth between this, but I think my thought is that bus shelter there fits with what's on the park in the wooden structure that's there, and that's why I didn't get real excited about it. I think
Yeah, I agree.
That you know, and if Pomelo's willing to have the other one there, and we try it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we take steps to get something else. You know.
So
Or not, yeah.
if we hear an uproar, what the heck could you guys do down at Shaw's and down there with those bus shelters, and we wanna take them out, and Pomelo said, they're on my property.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do.
Well,
They
this-
can't, if
the
he
public-
applies for the permit and puts it on there.
Yeah. It's not up to us to tell
Then
them.
why
to
are
do
we
it.
spinning our wheels, or why is Ian spinning his?
He's not.
He's not, he's just working with,
I know he is, but it's, I would like to see us, I'd like bus shelters, I'm not against them. I would like to reach back out to Tri-Valley and say, would you purchase 3 like that we could all agree to? Or, and then, you know, and do that versus getting something in our free. Would we all, 5 of us, would we put those in if we had to buy them?
but we aren't.
We're
putting
not
them
buying
in.
I didn't ask that question. If we had to buy them, would you put those in if we had to buy those? You'd say, that's not where I wanna put my money into that type. I'm just asking the question. That's where I keep answering. If we had to buy those, I wanna get some shelters, but those aren't the type that I want.
But it's apples and oranges for a number of
Yeah.
reasons for me. It's, for one thing, we don't own the property they're going on, and the people that do own that property want them. So that has nothing to do with us, it takes it out of our hands. Number 2, we don't have to pay for them, they're free. If they don't, you know,
Work out.
if they don't work out, we haven't lost a thing. When we have a prep site for something new, if we need it. So that's my view of it.
Well, there is a small expense to the town for the site preparations.
Correct. But not for the whole, not like building.
Right,
not like
right.
putting
Which
in
is-
a
and-
new.
The limited
That's-
one
And
time.
that's gonna be ARPA money, that's supporting that.
Right.
But I think you're right, Joel. If the town pursued this, we probably wouldn't choose those, because I don't think we would think of that kind of design. We would go with a more traditional design. I did reach out to TVT and ask them about pricing, and it's in, you know, the $6,000 to $10,000 to $17,000 range. The bus shelters that they have in locations around Addison County, a lot of those were commissioned and handmade. And so it definitely has a very hefty price tag. And I don't know if these shelters weren't available to us and TVT says, hey, we want to do these bus shelters, we probably wouldn't be pursuing this project because we wouldn't have the money to do this. I guess with ARPA, we technically would, but I think
If that was a project we chose.
right. I mean, I got interested in this because that they're kind of unique and different, and it's something that TVT wants to explore. I mean, they're the ones that are sort of pursuing this and developing this because they wanted to sort of do something interesting for towns and then approach Bristol. And I think the connection that I have with this in terms of the select board is that the project goes through the town. We work with the property owners in terms of the permitting, but the town sort of spearheads the idea of bringing these to the town of Bristol.
Kind of facilitating.
Facilitating, thank you.
Yeah.
But I do understand your concerns, Joel. I absolutely
Me
do.
too.
But I do think it's worth pursuing. And if this doesn't work out, then we stay in close contact with TVT and we make sure that, you know, if there are problems that they're fixed. And I'm sure the property owners don't want to have issues with the bus shelters either. So I think it behooves all of us to sort of, you know, make sure that the shelters stay in good condition, that they're used. And if there are problems, I'm sure we will hear about them and hopefully we can solve them.
Okay.
Anything
all I
else,
have.
Ian?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So I was approached by Nancy and Russ Luke about the flashing light in front of their house. They're 50 Mountain Street. So if you go right up Spring Street, their house is right at the end. And they've asked if there's any way that can be, I don't know if you've seen it, it's ugly. It's a big wooden sign that a meter sits on in front of, it's right in front of their house. Nancy has beautiful gardens. She just asked, is there any way it could be updated so that it might be a solar?
Why is there flashing light there?
No parking for the
It's
school.
only when school
Oh.
is, the buses.
It's a big sign, it's a big wooden panel.
But it's only on in
on
the
for
morning
what?
and then at night.
It's not about the flashing light, it's about the big wooden panel that the meter sits on. So there's a sign and a meter in front of their house. And they haven't liked it since it went in. They've talked to me a couple times about it.
It's been before the board a couple of times.
It has, so I'm bringing it back.
It must have been before my time.
No,
So-
Darla brought it up about a year and a half ago.
About a year and a half ago.
So she first got on the board.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I was on the school board when we put that in, and Russell was on the board with me.
I
And
don't-
he came home and he goes, oh, you can put it that there, and
Yeah.
we went, you sure? Yeah, that's
You
fine.
forgot to check with Nancy.
He did. And it's, yeah, I agree with you, Darrell.
Just can it be
I know
updated?
why the reason it was there, we had some issues where they were running lights and coming up that way. I don't think we had that issue anymore. I don't believe.
Well, we don't have that issue
Bruce there.
because Bruce is sitting there.
Bruce is sitting there. That could change when we get another officer someday or something, you never know. But I do think it could be upgraded with a smaller, I'm thinking of a one, like the one with, it's not a bad attractive sign out here that Eric has for the flashing P with, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's a smaller one that you can still see, no parking on Main
So I
Street.
think the biggest issue
Is the meter.
is the meter.
Like, could it be a solar powered?
That's a possibility
something
too.
Yeah, but can you put that on a timer?
I don't know.
Those solar, like if it was
It's a
solar.
battery, yeah, so I would assume you can.
So it's a,
What did the, just for cost's sake, and I know you told us when we put them in, but what did the ones down by the firehouse apartments cost, those solar crosswalks? Because it would basically be the same foundation and
$14,000
for the pair.
total.
Yeah,
12 or 14.
Yeah.
So it'd be
Give them
6 or
about
7 grand
yeah.
for one sign.
And Valerie, those, I've seen them down by the bank and that one over there, and I hope someday we'll have one on the corner, North Spring and Pleasant, for that busy crosswalk. Those are on the street light.
Yeah.
They're on the street lights?
That one over there is solar. This
Oh,
one down
solar,
here.
okay, solar, sorry.
This one down here is.
It's on the street lights?
Streetlights, yeah.
Why couldn't that one, could we ask Central Vermont, could that one?
No, it's not, I'm sorry, Joel, it's not on this, it is on the street light, on our street light bill because it goes through the power that feeds the
Lights.
lights. But it's.
I guess that's, what
Yeah.
I'm asking up there, why couldn't that be
because
just,
that would be wired to the street.
and get rid of the
lights.
meter and stuff, and then I think the sign is so faded, it says do not enter with a cross, you know,
Yeah.
I
mean, I
think,
I'm oblivious because I don't know that I've ever seen one.
yeah, you go up there at 10 minutes to 8 till about 8:20.
Well, I know, I've seen the
Sounds about half
flashing
an hour.
light, but I don't know that I've ever
But I
paid
think
attention
it's,
to
but
it.
it's in your front, I mean, they see it every time they come and go out of their house.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
they
the,
Yeah.
it's right
I don't mind
here.
looking into that for the board if you want, Valerie, to go stop it. I know the guys at Green Mountain Power
That's what
just
that's.
say.
Yeah, I mean, it
Could that be what-
probably costs us more for that meter than it
Oh.
would to have it hooked.
Oh,
to
yeah, we tried it, when I was on the board, Terry tried to say, can we pay the meter, can we pay the bill once a year? It was like $7 for the, $6, $3 for the amount of electricity used, and it was $18 for the meter.
So we
Correct.
would, so potentially we would switch that out. And if we did solar, we wouldn't necessarily need the meter. There's no way to get power there without the meter. Is that correct?
No, what they're saying is hitch it to the street lights.
Cost,
Oh.
come down like we did down here on Main Street.
And just pay a flat rate. It would seem like they could go back to the history of what that's used. And we could pay a flat rate, even if it was, if you said it was $5 a month and we paid 10 and eliminated the meter.
I know streetlights, we pay for one over at the rec field, and I negotiated that with Green Mountain years ago, and they charge $250 a year. You want a streetlight in your yard? $250, one flat fee. You don't put a meter, they don't come in and register it.
Okay, I'm just remembering getting lighting bills over there that were.
But that was
pretty
different.
high.
It was $250 to put a streetlight. They maintain it,
Okay.
they change the bulb for you.
Oh, I see.
I was thinking
You pay
lights
the
on
power, but.
I was thinking
power.
lights on the field. I was like,
No,
I
not
remember getting
for-
bills that
not for those.
were hefty,
Yeah.
Okay, so
Really?
Alright.
Joel's going to look into that, the potential of tying into the streetlights, but Green Mountain Power wouldn't do the actual unit itself, would they? Do they supply those like
You
the
probably
flashing
have to get an
lights?
electrician, they'll bring the power down to the pole.
Well, the
Okay.
light's isn't the light
Lights
on the
pole,
sign?
On the
Lights
sign.
on the sign.
And you
Right
could
next to a pole.
eliminate the meter, the big wooden meter
Yes.
Yeah.
thing, and I think that
That'll go a
would,
long way to making.
yeah.
Okay, let me,
I
when
mean,
I
the
walk up
power's
tomorrow, I'll
already
take a look at
there.
it.
The power's already there, so it's just a matter of
Connecting
eliminating the meter
Yeah.
and negotiating a deal with them.
If Valerie, you or Sharon could send me a copy of that meter bill, so I'd have an account number to talk with them about. And they may say, yeah, we can do that. Here's the history of that thing you used, $10 worth of power a month.
I'll have to look because there isn't a separate bill just for that. So it
Or
must
does
be
the
on
school
another
pay it?
one.
The school
Yeah, I
may
don't
pay
think
that.
we pay.
No, school pays that. Now I know that. School pays that bill.
How much longer are we gonna be, because my ride's here?
We
so-
should
We should
just
be.
about done.
Well, we have executive session.
Oh, dang right.
We do?
Brief.
I can give you
Okay.
a ride home, Michelle.
Yeah, I can either too.
Okay. Well, thank you for volunteering to.
Okay,
to
I'll look into that.
I appreciate
I
that.
agree with it.
And I won't let the.
I kind of first started that up there, full circle, about the 80s, late 80s.
Thanks. I will let Nancy know. Okay, that's all that I had for this evening. Town administrators report.
The only thing I would add to the TA report, which I already did sort of mention in there, I did receive confirmation today that the Mulligan dog barking situation continues to be improved. So,
improved.
yes, so
It
it's.
didn't sound like it was gonna be good.
Right, no, it began improving a little while ago, and it's still on the improving track. So it's good. Things are good.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Good news. Great. Is there any other business, correspondence reports or correspondence received?
I would just have folks refer to the little list that's in the TA report or look at the website to see what's listed there.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, sorry, Darrell. Should we, I was reading over the minutes, should we have it for people, when we're all gone and they're pulling these minutes up, when you said staff present and board present, some of you aren't really present. Should it say in parentheses Zoom or a Z there behind their name if they're by Zoom?
Well, they're present in the meeting.
I'm pretty sure I'm present.
Yeah.
Not,
Well,
not
I
present
don't
would be
know
a
yet.
screen that
No,
would
just,
not have me on it.
That's all I was wondering. Should it say that? So we should, or Zoom, like everybody that you had listed in the minutes, none of them were here.
I can tell you
think
when
that's fine.
I go to state meetings and read state meeting minutes.
They say the
it
same?
Does not.
Okay,
It does not
I just was
designate.
wondering.
Does it ever say hybrid meeting?
At the top of the agenda, it does say,
hybrid.
well, it doesn't say hybrid, but it says you can be joined via Zoom. For those that, now they're in full session, but when
Okay.
they were hybrid.
And then should we have, when we go in executive session like tonight at 6:30, should we have a separate Zoom account? So people who jump in early,
A Zoom ID.
and I Zoom ID, just a point of, should we? To think
We've done
about.
it both ways. When we did it last time
Zoom's
and
real good
could
about
use the
taking
waiting
it back
room,
out.
that
Putting
helped.
it in the waiting room.
You can do that, and then we can also do a breakout room. So we could start the meeting with our normal link, and we could create a breakout room. Val can do that, and then just put us in that room. And anyone coming into the meeting would just see no one there,
A blank room.
and then we would leave the breakout room. And we have that ability. I turned it on, so we could
I just
experiment
don't-
with that.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna, one of us say something, that executive session about personnel or something, and somebody was in.
Somebody pops
Yeah.
in.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. Yeah, we had awkward experiences in the past with different links, and some folks got the link and some didn't, and there was confusion, and then there was the conundrum about whether the select board could be logged into 2 meetings at the same time, kind of thing, and yeah, so
Yeah,
it got complicated.
Val and I could do a little test on that to test the breakout room to see if that actually works before
Yeah.
we would explore it in a real meeting.
Okay. Great, so do we need executive session? Yes, for a few minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Michelle, you want to do your thing?
I make a motion that we enter executive session to discuss personnel and potential real estate negotiations, part 1 VSA, section 313.
Thank you very much. Good night, Jim.
Good
Night,
night,
Jimmy.
Jim.
Hi, Jerry.
Night, neat.